just birds. Look just birds.
Shots fired, shots down, looks like still inside on the street.
Well, bitch, I wake up in the morning, take a piss and smoke some fog. Got bodies sitting in the basement, ass rolling around the trunk. Drink the blood that's from her wrist, I hope she know that's off the jump. Pouring up a cup of bloody while I roll another blunt. Bitch, I'm a beast, just to say the least. She like what she sees, I'm about to beast, right between the knees. Guess I aim to plead the suicidal mental state. The lies full of fake, bitch, I revive with the blood I rectify from a rape. Shadow walking through the further, trying to set my body free. Those switches, demons, necrophilia, that's all I fucking see. If you know anything about me, you know where I fucking be. Enough forbidden forest, looking for some unicorns to bleed. I got a bad bitch creeping through the shadows in the zone. I used to show her how to kill, but now she do it on her own. That pussy grown, watch her do it. She gon' wait till you alone and whisper in your ear. You pussy should've left your ass at home. That's what she said. Ay, that's what she said. Ay, she want them press, them dead prayers. Ay, talking dead prayers. Ay, I eat that pussy like a pez. Ay, just like a pez. Ay, I heard you working for the feds. Ay, ay, fuck the feds. Pussy motherfucker, what? In the cut, chillin' with the tuck, bitch, we don't give no fucks. Hold up, what? Acting like you tough, might get your tummy cut. In the cut, chillin' with the tuck, bitch, we don't give no fucks. Hold up, what? Acting like you tough, might get your tummy cut.
See, you know it's very fucked up what they did to a nigga, because they correlate me, okay, subliminally. They did subliminally, and boy, you can see my little egghead kids must did this shit. Correlate with me, Kim Jong-un, because they must travel through time or some shit to see that they were gonna put a fucking sun in my chest. And now people are laughing and shit, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? I can't figure out how this fucking thing worked. No different than Kim Jong-un could figure out his fucking missiles and shit. It's called a fucking, it's like a fucking crisis. Every so often, this guy will set off some fucking nuclear missile or some shit, and while everybody else is worried in the world for what everybody else is doing, he'll set off a fucking missile and he'll just like fucking land, you know what I'm saying, in the ocean somewhere and blow up, you know, in the depths of the ocean, killing all sorts of fucking marine life, snails, octopus, squids, and schools of fishes, sharks, and all sorts of fucking shit, man. Whales, fucking crustaceans. This nigga has a war on the fucking ocean, man, on the sea life, man. All them missiles, and it's funny because like the world's stopping the news, and all the world leaders just kind of look over at fucking North Korea, and then they'll just go back to what they're doing. Like, I ain't fucking with that guy. That guy is fucking tripping. He don't know how to fucking, he can't control his missiles or fucking, he can't control his missiles or do anything like that. You see what I'm saying? And that seems to be, it's striking my head right now as being kind of odd. All these correlative things. Because I can't figure, I don't know how to fucking, because usually guys, around this point in time, a door opens up for me. You know what I'm saying? A door opens up, I don't die, I just walk through this fucking door. And it's like in The Simpsons, when you walk through a dimension and change from 2D to 3D, it's like that, only I'm 32-bit, and it's like mixed media. Okay, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse. I walk back. That's how Hyperia is. And I'm like, you know, the Spider-Man movies, when I was going through this whole thing, you know, it was like fucking Homecoming. Then after Homecoming was like Far Away From Home, or like No Way Home. It eventually came to the point where it's like you couldn't fucking come home. You know what I'm saying? In the Spider-Man series. So I was like, fuck that. They're trying to fucking not let me go home and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm speaking jumbled and everything, but it's just kind of interesting because I'm having this problem. Everybody's ignoring me and treating me like they do in North Korea over here in America because I can't figure out how to fucking. Hey man, listen. If an opportunity comes and I figure out how to work this thing and get back to Hyperion and see my kids, I don't know what to tell you niggas. It's not that I directly have any type of altercation or beef with you whatsoever. I really don't. I really do, and I'm not being dark with you. I got mad love for you guys, even though, like, you know what I'm saying? You have issues with me and shit like that. I just kind of feel like you guys are so much younger. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know. I don't know the things that you do in comparison to my oppressions, though frustrating and difficult they may be to deal with. It's not so much in the manner that I would wish to impute you harm more than I just want to go see my kids. I just can't figure this thing out. And I get it. I see what the fuck is going on here. The correlations. And when I say these things, you guys, I'm speaking of individuals that are outside the bounds of time, because think about it. Everything you see in your life, you have to reflect on your life to recognize how all of these images that you have seen, okay, reflect your own personal life. You see what I'm saying? From the movies and the media that you see and everything else like that. In order for you to have understanding and correlate that with the wisdom of God also, you need to refract off of each of these things and cross-reference it, and then you'll have a better understanding of knowing oneself. All right? So here's the thing, man. The thing about knowing yourself, what's more important than how you feel about yourself or what you think about yourself? That shit, no. I mean, it's important to some degree, okay, if you actually go through the reflection of reflecting on yourself from time to time and you're separated from others. But it's kind of more important oftentimes if you have individuals who are sincere around you, the small comments and things that they say in regards to your character, because these are the things that are showing to individuals, not the things that you're doing correctly. You understand what I'm saying? So in order to improve, the ridicule that you could use even from a hater, this is information that you could use. So why retaliate? You see what I'm saying? This is why this is how I control situation. Okay, why retaliate and give them something that they want? If based upon their intention, their aim was to harm you, but they ended up helping you because they gave you advice and they know they gotta say some real shit. Take the advice, all right? Unless it's just like a blank insult where they wasted time, where it's like, yo, you waste my time again, it's gonna be popping. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing, man. Know yourself, man. Know yourself, you guys. And I just found it to be somewhat funny because I know Kim Jong-un was, I don't know him personally. I'm saying I know he was fucking, everybody knows he be setting off those fucking things, and nobody fucks with him. I think they're scared to fuck with him because they're like, yo, that dude is fucking crazy. They don't say that, but they're all thinking that. Like, yeah, you just leave that dude alone. Because and this dude just keeps setting off fucking fireworks, but they fucking keep landing in the ocean. Everybody just ignores them. I think it's fucking hilarious, dude. And then I have this situation, and then Russia's at war. And I'm not saying that beyond the scope of all the things that's going on and the things of, I understand people die and everything like that. But I'm talking about the representations of these things, all the catastrophes that could potentially happen in the earth right now, for us not just to fucking turn to God for heaven's fucking sake. The only reason we wouldn't do it is because we're fucking batshit, dude. We're fucking blind. They're so devoid of their fucking conscience, it's fucking insane. Let's be honest. Remember how you were as a child, and now think about the things that you think about upon your mind. Like, it's fucked up, dog. I'm out.
It's just wild.
I see that, people. I know, but that's not. Go talking about it.
Nightmares, I'm having nightmares. I can make 100,000 in these Nikes. Every time we had a problem, I was right there. Should've knew that you would turn, man, you was type scared. Swear I hear my brother talk to me, like the devil really forcing me. When I was locked up, none of these hoes wanted to talk to me. Now I got all these bad bitches out calling me. Shit changed, man, I was down bad. Now I'm in a Mazda in the rain, driving fast. Through the dash. I see dead people. What? Last time I seen Nana, he was in a coffin. Swear in my head like I'll be big cautious. All you see is that thing, you can't force it. Never tell on my brothers, know so many secrets. See my bros turn steak, pull my heart to pieces. Got a thotty pregnant, praying she don't keep it. Hold up. I had one wish I wish Meech was here. I had two wish I wish Zeke was here. I had three wish I wish them all back. Got the phone much, I told my bro to call back. See dead people, I see dead people. Somebody watching me think it's them fat people. I see ghosts telling me don't play them close. I see dead people, I see dead people. I see dead people, I see dead people. Ham voices, somebody telling me that they all poison.
I can feel the evil when it's getting worse. They shot my car up, I put it in reverse. All them times I had to bite my tongue till it hurt. You ever stood over a body until it jerked? I'm just praying that you never see it. Cold bitch in themselves sleeping underneath it. Horror story about the feds and how they undefeated. My man said they let him go, but I don't believe it. The glass bowl put my trust in it. I got my heart broke, I don't trust women. They say dog food money come quicker. I ducked the indictment off a gut feeling. I just stuffed 60 in the Uzi. I'm watching niggas' house like a movie. I'm seeing dead people and it spooks me. Thinking whoever sit behind me gon' shoot me.
See dead people, I see dead people. Somebody watching me think it's them fat people. I see ghosts telling me don't play them close. I see dead people, I see dead people. I see dead people, I see dead people. Ham voices, somebody telling me that they all poison. Last night I taught the hockey that like police. Them niggas want you dead, I hope you ain't slipping. I see the hood kicking, I pay attention. And everybody ain't for you playing from a distance. Ain't shit changed, you know I'm still gripping. Niggas see me winning, I ain't changed possessions. Leave a nigga dripping, bro, I swear I'm exing. Can I try to hug him, then he go missing. I miss Meech, I miss my brother, dog. He don't even come and see me, no, I wanna talk. I wanna kill everybody, it's everybody's fault. Can't nobody replace nothing that I fucking lost. I had one wish I wish Meech was here. I had two wish I wish Zeke was here. I had three wish I wish them all back. Got the phone much, I told my bro to call back. See dead people, I see dead people. Somebody watching me think it's them fat people. I see ghosts telling me don't play them close. I see dead people, I see dead people. I see dead people, I see dead people. Ham voices, somebody telling me that they all poison.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? I was just thinking, man. Hang on one second. Alright, man. Hey, man, listen. Considering reptilians being dogs. If reptilians are dogs, do trees bark? You understand what I'm saying? I am without seed. And my dogs, we divide the bread and we set the table and we eat as saints and martyrs at the Last Supper before our oppressors, of which we saved in former lifetimes from Hyperion, in which no one is separate and there are no egos. But I have no friends there, not that much. I do have my kids though. And then I end up here amongst Dracos that treat me a certain way and they want to come back home. Human, but an ET. They got lost in their egos. Bipolar in a white sea. This static we call dead air, and there are principalities. And these principalities don't know themselves, so they can only manifest as mental illness. And I don't have those, because I didn't eat at the tree. Do dogs bark like trees do? And here I am, considered to be John, and I'm crying out, but would there be a Bible if I didn't take of the fruit in the garden? And what would I consider to be evil that's natural? The ideation or the understanding of evil things is to recognize by admittance that man fell. Therefore, we notice. And we are amongst creatures, and these creatures are enforcers, and these enforcers go hand in hand with humans being martyrs and joining into masonry, reaping in for harvest, and we call these angels. These stars we see when we watch the movies, thinking that we're one of them. You see, we look alike, but we're completely different considering agendas and how they stand. Whether one is God or not pertains to their morals and ethics and their altruism also. Why do the good die young? This is the necessary evil that facilitates bad, in which individuals have secret desires in which they eat, which is correlative with sin, and they teach witchcraft and have knowledge, and you niggas drink the Kool-Aid. I say a nigga slipping, but call it God's country. You could never attack thee, nor let anything happen to me either. Where is my mansion and my drugs and my females? Cause if it does, the shit's going everywhere if we don't detonate. And I'm just trying to get the party started. One of my favorite pre-workouts back in the day was by Redcon, Game Day and War Games. That was some good shit, bruh. When I would take that shit every time, I would just detonate. Woo! Woo! I would, man. I would take off. I would hit that gym. I'd be lifting weights like crazy. Algorithm, will you pay, man? People don't seem to notice the words I speak. My friend Tim got in a situation where he was killed by the FBI because he called in a bomb threat. And allegedly, he was looking at neo-Nazi websites. Are we saying that this individual was just researching information, and information takes you to strange places that detectives would be familiar with? And he is the fall guy for what matter. And who calls in a bomb threat? Did the Joker have a gun to his head? And we put humans in jail and we let the spirits run amok because it's a necessary harvest. And we always seem to pick individuals that are easy targets. Tim had 5 kids, which he adopted. Well, played War or Warcraft. Who got time outside of that to fuck around and figure out shit like he was doing? And whatever he was doing, if you call it in, that wasn't a plan. And the world went along with it. And I say Hyperion, and Hyperion get mixed up with Aryan. And niggas, I said, don't get it twisted. Considering the interesting thing to me was white people back in the Garden of Eden. We had to think, who is this nigga we really fucking with? Black man. So close to being called Batman. Wu-Tang is forever. There is power in the word. We like a beacon in the sky when the sun go down and people do business. Black man, the representation or the archetype of all the wealth of the world, everything that this world sits on. They named after us, but gave it a negative connotation that they can't seem out of. And you don't think it's particular that you have thorns. Black man. There's a harvest. These dragons say you taste like pork. Isn't it interesting? Don't you hear the rattle of the serpent? And that's what niggas do right before they die. We like to call like a crow. They call that a death rattle. In the most sorrowful ways I would know of it. In such a manner, if I am to respect life, I have to respect it according to consciousness, not this physical construct that was created after such a matter that I have had an epiphany of thoughts and never thought of things that I have found here. Think about it. And we, in this blink of time, consider this to be reality, this projection in which we're in, and I'm trapped within here. So we kind of take reality with being trapped in object permanence. Isn't it interesting? Black man. Oh, let me set this. Timer might go off because you know what I'm saying, about to preheat. You know what I'm saying? Preheat. And so yeah, man. Hey, man. I was just thinking, and I know black people are getting upset at me over these fucking wildlings and things. They're like, how dare this motherfucker go through such things in this world and then all of a sudden fucking say that he's after wildlings. I mean, shit. If you want to say, hey man, if you want to save the world, you gotta start tribing up some of these wildlings, because otherwise, man, this whole world is gonna go amok. They keep popping out them kids. Them kids gonna be going crazy. They ain't never heard of a switch in their life. Only switch they know of is a light switch. That's only to turn the light off. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta, hey man, you gotta save some of these wildlings from their fate. You gotta pull them out of that. You gotta pull them out of the water. See, these can't speak. The wildling female, she knows she can't speak. You know what I mean? She cut hair and do all sorts of shit for her fucking community and shit. Now, this wildling, she'll cut your hair. Now, in them communities, if she fucks up cutting someone's hair, man, they get punched in the face or some shit. More than likely. So you know she got ASMR rhythms. She gentle around niggas. She cut hair and she cut your hair real nice. She won't even fuck up. She won't. Wildlings will do that. And listen, man, they're easygoing and everything like that. So it's like, you know, if you came out of a compound, I mean, how bad can your relationship? And that's what I'm saying, you niggas. You know, you gotta order your steps according to belts. Okay, I took Bashir Khan back in the day. Okay. All right, I didn't get to finish, but I took. Hey, man. Like most things, I didn't get to finish, but I did take some of it. And I gotta tell you, man, I did get past the white belt and that, but in this situation, man, listen, I'm more like I'm a white belt right now. Okay, I tell you, I know motherfuckers get mad. You know what I'm saying? Until sisters come down off of that pedestal a little bit, or I elevate a little bit, because I have gifted skills, and I'm still, hey man, listen, this is what's gonna happen. I'm at a white belt right now, but I will get to a fucking black belt. The black belt is for fucking professionals like Bill Burr and shit. Because a sister, okay, you know what I'm saying? A sister is going to fucking, she is going to hold your ass accountable. And she fucking, her intuition, she could see and sense everything. She said her nose work. Black women can smell. They can fucking, their sense of smell is fucking insane. Okay, they'll come in like fucking days later from the last time you had a cigarette. Like, oh, it seemed like somebody was smoking in here. Were you smoking? And it's like, well, technically no, I didn't smoke today. You know what I'm saying? Like they own it. They own a different level. Then you put them in the church, and then they get the Holy Spirit up in there, and then it's just all sorts of just like, you fucking naked, bro. You're still an eater. We wear clothes, but you're naked as fuck, because that's fucking, dude. Black women, that's that black belt shit. Okay, woke, Colombian roast, color, the whole nine. So I gotta work my way up to a black belt, because let me tell you, with sisters, one wrong move, you have to be perfect. You make a mistake with sisters, hey man, the razor might come out. And I ain't talking about the new cell phone, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying right now, I've been through a lot of stress and pain, trauma, pain and suffering and shit. I'm at about a white belt, and a white belt means you're at a wildling level. Okay, you can manage wildlings as a white belt. Okay, I don't mean to make this racial, but I'm saying the shit is already set up. The first belt you get is a white belt. All right, you at a wildling level. Okay, you got a sister for a girlfriend, or married to a sister, a black woman. Hey man, get out of your altercations with them damn demigods and give her a hug. Just go on and leave it alone for the most part. Now, sometimes niggas, now if you done train, you know what I'm saying, you gotta bob and weave, you gotta duck some of those accusations. I mean, if you dating a sister, you in the fucking Olympics of relationships. Because one wrong move, nigga, one wrong move is all bad. Okay? So I'm at about I'm at a white belt. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean white belt, I mean white people. AKA wildlings, basically. That would be the white belt. That's where you're at. Based on like your relationship difficulty level. Due to the current climate in society. Alright? Because if society's different, then the system would change. Right? But right now she's not. And while I am upset that things I've been garnered a certain type of way in my life, I'm not like resentful toward the shit. It's just like, okay, whatever, I'll just, pick up something over here. You know what I'm saying? Because on the other side of the line, I also know I want them sisters to go ahead, take care of your jewel, keep that locked up. You understand what I'm saying? You are worth a you are worth a lot. You are beautiful, and keep that locked up. Okay? Don't just, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and the whole world, it's gonna seem like you can't get shit done because the whole world wants to go after that fucking, and that's in the secrets too. And I'm sure you know it about what they say, splitting black wood or whatever the fuck the supremacists and shit say. Hey man, they know that shit is crazy. They know the shit is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I don't know about that shit neither. I really don't. I really don't. I don't know what it is. I fucking, you know what I'm saying? Black women fucking hate me. It don't matter. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. You know, the only ones that are ascribed to like me are the ones that are closest to me. And I'm not sure if they really like me. We're just in this situation, you know what I'm saying, where calamity seems to fall on me, and people want me to suffer in silence and just kind of fucking suffocate and die while say that this is God's country and be involved in all of these hooks that they weren't in before I told them that they were going to get fucked up fucking with me. And shit just keeps getting worse. And I'm saying, where's my shit? If you keep me trapped in here and block my way from Hyperia because entities here in the spirit world get obsessed with a nigga, I'm dead serious. They'll never admit it, but it's just like, if you hate me, why are you here? And they project to be here for such a long time. And there's always a war before I leave here, a spiritual war that goes down. You know, Israel starts getting into fights and all sorts of shit. Like, I'm like, I can't get to fucking Hyperia, you know. And the issue is this. I'm patient, but like the problem is just like, listen, if you get in the way between me and my fucking kids, I'm gonna roll all you niggas over. I mean, I'm gonna show you a fucking wine press. Respectfully, I love you all. That's why I will make sure that nobody is left standing, because that would be bias. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the things, the atrocities to get to this level, and for me to even be speaking this calm on here, you know what I'm saying? In a world of censorship, hey man, get your shit together. This black man hit a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I hit a little bit different, man. You gotta let me out of here. Then you guys get back to ruling and doing all sorts of shit like that. But you know, niggas is dying all over the place. Hey man, listen, you fucking with God's spirit. I don't gotta be around you. Your intentions, I don't know. I wouldn't turn no intentions to me. If you all hive together, it's only one place those blessings can go. And everybody would turn and say, well, he's not talking to me. I'm talking to every last one of you niggas. All are responsible, just as all were responsible for what happened to Christ. And if God's son dies twice, based upon the fact that the reason why he would have sons is because he hasn't begot one. Nigga, let me tell you something. You won't have to worry about dying. You're gonna be alive for a long time. But what condition you'll be in is gonna be, nigga. Yeah, hey man, just let it fall out. It's gonna keep getting worse. Someone is blocking my way to Hyperion. Okay. Now, like I told you niggas, if you got a white pill, you still on a wilding level. That's like, you know what I'm saying, training wheels. Cause she's chill, man. She's easy, and usually, if it's chill, it's like, okay, it's chill. Like, it's chill. I could just chill here. Okay, but you got to be careful because what the wildling will start doing is the wildling will start testing the fucking boundaries, black man, and seeing if she can fucking push the envelope and fuck with your comfort zone. And it's this typical, you have to look at it archetypal. She can't help it on that white shit. You know what I'm saying? That archetypal on that white shit. And when I say white shit, I'm not correlating that to white men. White men do this, but they don't do this like how these females do it. It's a different agitation. You see, with white males, it's more direct, at least, which is clear cut and not so subtle. With wildlings, with Caucasian females, dude, they do this shit, and it's like subtle, and it's like that like it's almost like a damn drug just before the slip. Where it's like, come on, it'll be fun. And it's just like, I don't fucking do that shit. You understand what I'm saying? And you know I don't do that shit. You have to, if you set the boundaries when these things manifest, and you stand on your 10 toes and you firm on that shit, they won't fuck with it again. But you have to be sharp up front with it. And when I say sharp, I just mean assertive, but don't be a fucking dick. But they have to get the idea, because they will fucking, and these things are naive and somewhat pertain to like cats. You know, that a cat, if you're a stranger and you tap the front of a cat's head, how they'll kind of jerk their head back before your hand even gets there. Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? They're a little bit, reluctant. This is how this works. Okay? Now, that's just an example. I'm not gonna get too far into this because niggas start getting that fucking wrong idea about me and shit like that. I'm not like a fucking player or anything like that. Hold on, let me put this shit in the oven. All right, got that in there. Okay, so listen, hang on, let me set this timer, man. Fuck around and hold on. Return. Sorry, you guys. I get it, dead air. All right, man. So here it is. So if you're a white belt, you're at the wilding level. All right, of martial arts. And by white belt, I mean white people. Okay. So upside down kingdom. You understand what it is. Now, if you got a little bit more experience, but you're not an expert, you're ready for like a black belt. A black belt, I mean, correlating with black people, with black females. You can pick up some of your spice level, and as you get a little bit more seasoned, you get you a yellow belt. What's a yellow belt? And by yellow belt, I mean Asian females. I don't know if that's what that means in Bushido Khan, but in red pill Bushido Khan world, yellow belt means Asian. You know what I'm saying? You get you you know what I'm saying, a nice Asian sister, man. Okay? Now, honestly, there is a variety, okay, of personality types here. This is what I will tell you, man. That yellow belt, even though you intermediate, you better understand what field range you're in here, because I will tell you this, man. That yellow belt can be like as a black belt, because let me tell you, there's just an extra dimension to how fucking Asian people think, dude. The Asian females, and dude, they are insistent as a woman that is Jewish. You know how Jewish women can be pushy. a little bit on the pushy side of the game. Yes, the Asian female, she catches all sorts of shit. She could tell, you know what I'm saying, according to like intuition and shit. She will catch all types of shit. But let me tell you what's beautiful about them. The Asian, Asian female, they don't have you fucking going out into the world all fucked up. They don't like that shit. Okay. Now other women, they gonna fuck with you, and that means them wildlings and wildlings will do this. Let me think. Yes, wildlings will do this, and minority women will do this. If you're not, this is where they fuck with you. So let's say you're a brother that's in shape or whatever, you get with some sister, in order to, you know, the fishing hook to lock you in, they fucking start cooking and doing all sorts of shit. They're gonna get you out of shape, dude. You're living in a perpetual Thanksgiving and shit. Okay, yellow belt is not gonna do this. Okay, they don't do this shit. They want you to have your shit together. All right, that like literally. They want your shit together, and you gonna run into issues here pertaining to your finances. So if you fucking struggle with your finances and shit, that Asian female, if she does not take over the finances, take over things, and pertain to financial stability and saving money, hey man, the Asian female is a team player. She's fucking awesome. She keep the business running. You know what I'm saying? She is a jewel. She is a true jewel to have. She really is. Okay, she really is. And they are and they be rotted and die as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They be they bout that. They bout that, man. On any level. You know what I'm saying? They fucking. Hey man, look at their culture. They know how to survive. You can look at the whole culture, start to get some understanding. Okay? Now, you get to that, you get a little bit more advanced. Hang on a second. Let me look at this. Okay, then you get a little bit more seasoning. Okay, then you get a little bit more seasoning. You get that fucking brown belt. Okay, you get the fucking brown belt when you get a little bit more seasoning. Brown belt could correlate with brown belt correlates with fucking. If you get a brown belt, that means you're more experienced. You fucking Sanchezing. You're on the Hispanic side of the game. That's what that means. And if you know what I'm saying, if you got the brown belt, you know what I'm saying. The brown belt often matches the shoes and hat. It's a great accessory to have as far as a relationship or collection. Can match with any of the other belts, really. It has a generally good mixture between different races, just how Hispanics could seem Asian, or they could be as dark as they are. I mean, you get a lot of ranges of depth, as with the black belt, with the brown belt pertaining to Colombia. Okay. It's all sorts of beautiful fucking fish in the sea, I gotta tell you. Okay, but the Hispanic, you got the brown belt, and the reason why is because you're gonna need a brown belt dealing with the Hispanic female, because the Hispanic female is spicy. Okay, she's spicy, and you know what? They come from histories, and when they get upset, they prone to do some gangster ass shit. I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it. Most of dog attacks. Sometimes you just gotta put the damn dog down. Because if you don't keep these damn things in check, the Hispanic woman, let me tell you something, man. She come from a lineage. She might box a nigga too. She do certain shit like that. She do that shit. That's what she do. She will do that shit. but she ride or die than a motherfucker. She ride or die than a motherfucker. And you know, she's not so materialistic in many cases. But you have to pick. Now, if you dealing with the brown belt and it's not a true brown belt, okay, meaning you dealing from some silver spoon shit, then you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues way more complicated than dealing with the wildling from there, except for the associations that that individual's parents may be connected to, and you be an anomaly in such situations to first wonder whether or not if you're some type of sacrifice. Because I gotta tell you, them Hispanics and shit, they really into that fucking different type of fucking witchcraft and shit. Like, they got all kind of shit going on. Now, the wildling don't know what's going on. She fuck with Hinduism and all sorts of shit like that. Even though she fuck with a lot of religions other than just being so open. Like, take for instance, being more pliable. If I asked a wildling to hold up their hand, a stranger, and I pushed against their hand, pertaining to a wildling female, she is more likely to not have any resistance towards my pushing without any knowledge. Okay, a black female her hand is not going to go back. She's going to start pushing back against you. She's going to be like, the fuck is you doing? You know, a Hispanic chick will be more likely the same. An Asian female is not. She ain't gonna do it. Okay, if you ask a random Asian chick to put her hand up a yellow belt, she gonna fucking, and you just push against her hand, she's not gonna fucking move, dude, unless she knows what the fuck you're doing first. She don't fuck around. Now, let me tell you, Asian females got their shit together a lot of times, and they be fucking telling men how to have their shit together. The yellow belt is a jewel, man. The Asian female is fucking is beautiful and constitutes many attributes of character in which will facilitate a healthy relationship. Okay, and you don't want to piss her off, because a lot of times you fucking with some shit that's generally smarter than you. All right, that's what you're dealing with when you deal with the Asian female. So you gotta be careful, because they fucking do math and all sorts of shit. They do math and eat fried chicken. You can't fuck with them. You can't fuck with them. You get you a good brown belt. Hey man, listen. They are writers, man. They are generally not as materialistic, have big hearts, and things of this nature. I just want to ask yourself. I forgot. Do trees bark? And where's that line outside my door? Okay, so never mind. Let's continue on. Then we go on to other belt classifications, such as the red belt, which correlates with I suppose the redhead, which niggas connotate with Disney princess that pertains to like mermaids and shit. Redheads are generally commodities, and generally by the time that they turn 15, because of the rarity of the recessive genes of being a ginger, being a child sprang from the devil himself. Being a child that sprang from the motherfucking devil himself, from the own devil's loins, with hoof feet and everything. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of notable devil babies, you know. And I was trying to tell Prince Harry, hey man, we gotta get rid of some of these niggas. Wait a minute. These goddamn devil babies be is a damn invasive species in the earth. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is they're just, it's just so funny to me that there's some type of pushback on individuals that gingers were ever fucking oppressed pertaining to individual supremacy and having fucking white skin. but also like along with slaves, there was like Irish people that went through slavery that were on slave ships too. Hey man, listen, that shit is fucked up, nigga. So I'm like, dude, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I gotta have it, and it's out of a different prestige, okay, than other individuals that venture into this thing. The problem with gingers is by the time that you come across a ginger, that by the time that they're 15 or something, if they are single, they've been through so much emotional and sexual trauma, and everybody jumped on that shit that the chick generally lets herself go and has some types of personal deep insecurity issues based upon her alienation and looking different. I mean, the chicks remind me of that film Powder almost. But niggas love cocaine, but they hate gingers. I just don't understand. The shit is so funny. It's so crazy, nigga. I just don't understand society. And when I say society, I mean society. Because it's suspect in a motherfucker. These type of dealings that go on. And it's just funny because gingers disappear along with them fucking albinos. You don't see albinos after the 4th grade. You just don't fucking... I seen it once at Deerbrook. I seen an albino brother there, but that was just because that happens when I say I don't be seeing albinos. Just like after I mentioned what happened to all the planes. I haven't seen planes in my area for a couple of years fly across the sky. Then planes start flying, within the next week across the sky. Like, oh, like somebody forget to tick a button on the Truman Show. Like, oh, I forgot to send that over. He happened to, he happened to notice it. This world is about how you could be changed and how many things can be taken from you without you noticing or being distracted by using your focus to focus on things that don't matter. And you're going to end up looking at a world where you appear as a fool if you go along with this fucking Kool-Aid. Get your shit together, America. Bring my goddamn shit. I don't care who it is, government, you give me my damn bag. Fuck. I ain't about to suck a fuck up my way to the tippy top. You got the wrong Negroid. You understand what I'm saying? So, I think that so the thing is with the gingers, they generally run into complications pertaining to psychology, and I mean the ginger female, because things happen to them. Okay, things happen to them. Okay, so this is something that the individual will have to be aware of, because he will have to deal with a lot of things that correlate with that. And like I said, this deals with the repressive structures within society in which individuals denote their issues with diversity, okay, by it being exploited in a contradiction of that which they express would be an aberration, or as an antichrist, for an individual to be convicted in a contradiction that individual is as strongly promoted to speak out against. And the only static aberration otherwise in this factor or function would be those entities that align with such a thing, that really are fronting. There's individuals that front and there's individuals that are not. And the thing is God deals with the inner man, which correlates or pertains to the heart. All right. No instances and substances of matter pertaining to that which is spiritual can you define me in lines in which that if in this situation, let me do this. If in a situation, and I'm taking a detour from the redhead thing, in such situation, and me being a male, right, based out of superficiality and pertaining to the heart, that I place upon it physical limitations on the spirit that need not be there, especially if someone's identity is meant or set to appear a certain type of way. which would take them out of the principle that they were in. No different than women feminists that do masculine things to prove that femininity is strong. It's giving decoration to the strength of men, not to femininity. And you can't have true femininity outside of the wisdom of God and the role in which he set to give childbirth, because the fact of the matter is anything outside of that spectrum or archetype, which is the common ground in which you agree to, based within inside of your own mind, is giving strength or worshiping that which is outside of the spectrum or the deification of femininity. So Isis would be a counterproductive deity if it's to emasculate men, and clearly that happened in the world, it seems, for the most part. And a lot of the world is suffering from some form of fucking erectile dysfunction disorder. People take drugs and all sorts of other shit, and people got to beef with me. And I'm like, well, I mean, I ain't walking around, I'm not a smiley ass Negro, but I mean, I know something happened in the land, and the individuals that deem themselves in their secrets to feel that they have a personal problem towards this cause of ED right now. But the fact of the matter is that's not what the case that is happening to them. Okay, it's a spiritual thing. Okay, and the correlations of individuals in the microcosm will be reflected based upon certain percentiles or censuses within the entire earth as a grading scale of mankind before the consuming fire, which God is, that we would call the sun. You see what I'm saying? And our ozone layer, based upon how we're conducting ourselves and our intrinsic functions pertain to our core or our heart. Because when God looks into things, he looks at the heart of the matter. And when he destroyed the world according to water, he said he looked into man's heart, and he's seen only evil continuously. Well, what would be the link between God and man's heart? Ray. The entity that you call Ray is comprised of all light. According to your knowledge and perception, then you are bipolar, because the spirit is an adversity to the flesh, and the ways of the flesh are in adversity to the spirit. And you are in between state, or Midgard, being earth and carbonate. You see what I'm saying? And then we have all these superficial stereotypes and deifications that pertain to a general, which the only way that you could see an individual, or there could be actual rays, would be through the filter or the expression of the individual. Okay? But for those who pertain to wisdom, deal with the core causes or deal with things that are more common. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to ask yourself something. Let's say I had fucking no teeth in my mouth. And think about Walmart and the world relationships and things of this nature. All right? I don't have to be holier than thou than coming from California. And I'm in pretty good shape despite being kicked out of 2 gyms. Okay? I don't have any girl. I don't have a single girlfriend. How is it going to be difficult for me to see, okay, the heart of the earth and see what's going on with people's affections? In so much that Google limits how many I see views my videos, or the videos I could post in this world of censorship, where people have come to realize that they've been so inclusive to themselves that everything around them is fake, and people are tripping at the fucking mind of the zombie apocalypse. And you mean to tell me that I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a girlfriend, and I ain't gonna fucking sit up here, and since I had to wait so long with these fucking females, I'm gonna tell you exactly what the fuck God told me. God told me that fucking if I was able to defeat this fucking this spirit, you have to understand what happened to me. I got shot in the back. If I was able to beat this and the spirit of the Romans, okay, and the spirit of the Romans, because Christ's clothes was rent, okay, if I could beat the spirit of the fucking Romans, which correlates certain lifestyles relevant, correlating with philosophy, these Baccalaureates, and if I don't go to school, I go to jail, right? If I was able to conquer that, according to knowledge, no. According to wisdom, yes. Then I would have my pick of the litter between what belts I want to choose. And what did Jesus do to the money changers outside of the church? He whipped they ass. And your money can't do shit for this situation that you have in front of you right now. And this is the problem with the iceberg. You could call me the Iceman. A niggas want to play. You understand what I'm saying? I understand that's a big ass shit. And it's a government and UFOs and all that other shit. But the shit, I'm looking straight at your fucking core. It don't matter how you move. You know what I'm saying? You can move all you want to, allegedly. That's not what I'm looking at, right? Are you dealing with something with the mind that's growing and have a connection to the God that can separate the fucking the particles inside of your body and understand it according to thought? Okay? And that's the Spirit of God, right? Now you could do science and need to see a representation of these things, but is that really necessary? Because literally by creating the situation, you are merely seeing, right? But if you can see without doing such things, then you can save yourself a lot of time and finances. And the depths of what you will find, according to science without God, all that you would look for is what you don't possess, which is God. So why would you look for something you don't believe in? And when will you see it? This is being blind. And this is why I say I'm in this, you know what I'm saying? We want to call this God's country and we're in the midst of all these things. It just so happens, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to wait another single day because we're in a situation that you're gonna need God's help, right? So it's like this. Which God do you know? You ain't fucking with me. You ain't fucking with Hyperion. But you know the shit I say. You know Hyperion is real. Even if we came from so-called different kingdoms, you know the shit I say about Hyperion is real. Ain't nobody fucking with that. Ain't no therapist fucking with that. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with that because they gonna be like, yo, you gonna have to find someone that's like a complete fucking sociopath or something, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And without friends or anyone that they care about at all, I don't know what motivates them to do anything. If they're just completely a sociopath, they wouldn't be motivated to do anything. So they have to be inclined to something. But I mean, who wants to earn their last paycheck? You know what I'm saying? But getting back on this thing, man. I'm sorry, you guys. I had to. Hang on, I'm about to sneeze. I sneeze at random. I don't have sneezing spells, so I be thinking that's God because we say bless you when we sneeze. If someone was around, would say bless you, and this would be a connotation of these not necessarily connected sneezes where I sneeze once, because generally people sneeze in patterns in 2s or 3s. Okay, but so I believe God is watching me. That's what I'm telling you. And I gotta tell you, man, I know people are still continuing to drag their feet and act like this guy is just crazy or this, that, and all that's fine. I understand it. All of that is fine. I just know something is on its way to me that is good. I mean, I don't know why I haven't moved. I don't know if you see a nigga that just is immovable like this. Talking about getting some leg ever since, and I put my 10 toes down, and the shit just nothing works. Hey man, listen. If you expect it for anything to fucking work, now we can all look the other way. 6.6. We can all look the other way. But hey man, listen. I'm gonna need a few things if I'm gonna be stuck here. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to this relationship and this polarity and these different laws and things like that, you know what I'm saying? I would say that And you know, an individual has a natural law, and individuals that have a spiritual law, such as myself, okay, tend to conflict or bump heads. Okay, even though individuals would say that opposites attract, it would be that opposites attract based upon something that is rare, connotative of true love, which would not be that opposites attract largely at mass. And it's such the same if this is the upside down kingdom and backwards ever since CERN. When we talk about the homogenizing of society, are we talking, and vultures flying the suburbs, such is the same. When we talk about this homogenesis, are we talking about a homogenesis in which everything is the same, creates a bleaching out of everything, and this is the anti of life and diversity. So man has dropped from his spiritual wisdoms, which he doesn't recognize, and he starts breaking down into knowledge, and it's a perpetual fall that happens from moment to moment in which they can't notice what they're losing. And so that would create a time, a crunch time, or a window of time, okay, if you can imagine an elevator that doesn't have a door, before the floor of that elevator reaches the top portion of that floor that it's leaving, okay, for me to get certain things before society is just so dumbed down that I could just go outside and tell people what to do. All right, because the thing is I was promised I was promised a seed, even if I'm here. And the thing is, I don't want that anymore. But me striking out, we know this is impossible. And I know the females around me, how they were acting. They were going through a great struggle. You know, they were moving about as if they had to use the bathroom. That's how bad. And since when does a lawless beast pertaining to flesh, if we're talking about flesh, it's not me being insensitive, but since when does an individual that doesn't mind the higher things pertaining to God have self-control if they're doing so much as dancing around me in a certain type of awkward manner? I'm not saying this shit happens on the day-to-day, but when I was in environments where I had to be there for an actual amount of time, like the gym, or when I went to when I worked at Walmart and shit, I don't know, man. These chicks was, I don't know, unless they had some shit going on with them. These chicks just, they seem to be, they were allegedly lesbian, but they seem to have some tingling situations going on. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but it was very overt and obvious. And I'm like, I was just awkward as fuck, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to see that or not, but you're literally right there. And I'm kind of like, but then where did they do these things also? Unless it was like my supervisor or something, but even my supervisor, when I worked at Walmart, you gotta understand, I'm in my 40s, man. You know what I'm saying? T-Rex, man. It's like, it's like you look like, you know, you might be in your early 20s if you're my manager or supervisor at Walmart. And the things that they set me up with, because in society, when you get rejected or whatever, you can only get jobs at Walmart and things like that, where they hire minors, okay? And these minors are still coming into understanding themselves, correlating with their emotions, so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, so it's like you're dancing around. I have all this, and it's just like, first of all, I'm not in an atmosphere that's 18 and up, right? You can't date your manager, but we know how things go with jobs and things like that. I don't cross that line, but at the same time, it's like, well, like you're the only one that's like fucking 18, probably, for the most part here. You see what I'm saying? So you see this castration and these rules between these corporates and jobs and things like that, and everything guarded against me as a black man, even though people break the rules. All right? And you say, and then people have a connotation to point and accuse and call niggas to be gay. But here's a funny thing. That's a lot of knowledge. What do you know about the system you created that I don't? Because it doesn't correlate with my life. Dude, even if I try to act gay, even if I talked allegedly like I was gay, dude, it's just, I like my fucking, everything about me, it don't fit. I'm just, dude, I'm Broly, bro. Like, I just, you know, if I'm a gay dude, I'd be a straight gay dude. You know what I'm saying? It's just like fucking, and we know it. That's what I'm showing you. That's why I'm laughing. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? What? Once a month I cut my toenails and I'll fucking eat those. I'll chew on them and I'll fucking, but it's just like people are like, you know what I'm saying? That feel like ew or whatever, and it's like, thank God, I don't have to worry about you. The minute I say that, what does that mean? I can't get rid of them. So I can't say that. That's real censorship. Now imagine the real censorship that I deal with versus this algorithm. You see what I'm saying? This is in all the ways that I'm moving to you. My words are like Battle Angel Alita. You know what I'm saying? The way I flip and I move around these words is so agile. It's like Spider-Man and shit. All right? So I love to look things as an individual that communicates and thinks the way I do, such as like the gymnasts at the Olympics, because I feel like my words or whatever, these are my queens, since I can't have things. But I can have a relationship and relativity to words and understanding in which, even if you have a relationship, it would seem that I understand your partner as well as you, even though you've been with them for 20 years. It's only been a minute or two around me. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that you haven't read that book completely. These align with things such as self-control in this type of world where individuals are commodities. And I watch people get awesome shit and I just love to watch them, or I don't love to watch it, but I say it kind of resentfully in this sense that I just watch motherfuckers waste shit. And I'm just like, gosh, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just gonna waste it, you ain't gotta put your hand in it. Feel like I'm stuck in the scene in fucking Scary Movie where that guy was talking about, take my strong hand. And he sticks it up the turkey and everything like that, and the food, people didn't want to eat it, you know? And that's how it's getting, man. Now it's getting to a point that it come Thanksgiving and it's just like, I can't sit down and say grace because all of a sudden I don't want to eat the food anymore because motherfuckers is sloppy with the sauce. You understand? And these wounded birds come around and they psychologies of their jewel is in their brain, and I hear it come out of their mouth, and I know that they need to be healed. But I'm just the nigga that they have to hate, and they have to hate me in particular because they possessed by spirits. So that's 2 degrees that I have to bring them out and resurrect the individual that's walking on their feet. But people hear these words and listen to me one time, and it's too hectic for them to go through twice. But I just want to say that these are posted up and these are here, correlation to your mind, and I hope it helps. Even though we sit here and watch the innocent die because we're all scared to face the machine, but the way we die is just different. Mine is not as traumatic as yours. Yours is by compliance. Mine is a byproduct that proves I am a champion like a gladiator. And then we are sacrificed into the gods. You just get left behind. I stay jumping over topics like I'm living inside of a rapture. And these words be like whirlwinds that circulate your mind. There's so many seeds that get implanted in the soil even though you can't keep up. And it doesn't matter what you comprehend, because that's your knowledge. And this is how I move. Even though I'm not allowed to move at all. I feel like Bruce Willis in that movie, Corrective Measures. They got me locked up. Trapped inside of my house. Bids, I gotta suppose, placed upon my life in the black market. Trapped between concerns, I can't even afford cigarettes. Sometimes I get help, I ain't fronting about that, but I ain't saying I ain't got enough to kill myself other than being trapped here in isolation until I get old and die for no reason. And you have the audacity not to call me a naga or a dog? Because you know that I'm God. And I'm asking, do trees bark? And John cried out in the wilderness. And niggas can't hear me roar. That's a lot of pride. You're devoid of your consciousness, and these words are effective because if you don't reflect and take the seeds that I put into you, spirit baby, call me Abraham, then I will watch you die as you defy your own consciousness. I had no part in that. I was trying to help, and I smile up at God because I know he's looking down on me. That when you reject me, you defy yourself, knowing who I am as a one-eyed minion from Hyperion. And I ask you, the opposite of that which I desire. But I do things according to how God would want me to do them. But I am honest. Those who hate me find themselves. You are your own weapon. And you don't know yourself, and you approach me. Where are my things, America? Look at them, sit here and watch these vlogs, thinking that they're creating some type of villain, using subtle narrative, talking about anger. Anger for what? Rather than sympathy for incompetence. How could I be sorry for those who go willingly into the chopping press? I can only respect your freedoms. My hands are tied and binded because in order to respect yours, I can stand on mine. And you can't intrude because I've respected yours. This is the truth. There's principles that I go ahead and align with that I don't conflict myself in the spirit and which I'm cut off from my own power. This is the guillotine that you put yourself in. I'm just showing you. I ain't got any weapons. People are scared. Admitting that they scared of the black man. And that's why we in bondage. This ain't really about foreign relations. We got so many weapons for 13%. And I'm like a jewel. And I'm sitting here singing like a wildling. Look at my music videos in the 90s. Well, I say so much crazy shit, niggas can't find me. But there are different belts in these worlds, and right now I'm at about the belt of a wildling. And people are cursed by knowledge because people obviously can't see a good thing because they're liars, not because they can't see. And in their rejection of good things, do they not reject themselves and they design themselves, but not like a monk. So therefore, that's the bottomless pit. And they're okay with whatever they get. So even those who are the most hostile with me are just under mind control, and I can see them as being victims because they're the most pliable. And I just look at these marshmallows acting like they tough. Sitting here laughing next to Childish Gambino at a campfire, holding up my stick like, yo, you about to get stuck, bruh. We do it all the time in the penitentiary. Who the fuck you think you fucking with? 1000%. And I'm at about a wilding right now. And don't be cursed by your knowledge. Even the individuals that would appear to be atheists, I learned things in opposition to me. I don't only look for confirmation bias, you see. A lot of these individuals, according to their philosophies, would be considered to be giants according to the Bible, but we gotta see things so physically, and it's still manifesting in a physical sense along with individuals' knowledge. And look how that shit aligns up, even outside of genetics. That this is a correlation or a mixture between the conscious world. This matrix is a conscious world. And this conscious world is the only reality in which physical things we would deem sit in there. But physical is so stereotypical, isn't it? For a nigga that moves like a ninja across water, you could say I'm light. Not knowing that you struck thinking you could fuck with thee. I forgive you even though you not asking. Wisdom hasn't struck you yet. And I'm saying, yes, as a black man, blame it all on me. It's all my fault. Because it's my consciousness. And I create the light and the darkness. And it's my power. And you got daddy issues. There's no line outside my door. And people just slaves for money. And they so hungry to be hoes. And these hungry hippos come up to me thinking that they sit on top of mountains. Mountains that are inside my head. And they wonder if there's UFOs in there also. Most definitely. But let's be honest, if you don't know yourself, I'm not in your world, you're in mine. Pertaining to relativity and free radicals, you're like that. Just wandering around, aimless and lost. But it would appear as if it's me because I have no friends. Look at your perceptions and how you judge things. Many people say that the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. That's a lot of knowledge I wouldn't know about. There's a difference between intentions and what we would consider to be good based upon our judgments. Also, look at all that space in between there. You see, when I grew up, I went to Steve Cass's dojo. I practiced Bushido-kan, and I've been going through life thinking about these belts. Whipping money changers outside the church. I don't go to them. Plant my seed anywhere there is wealth, and I don't see none here. Though you would call me a reject in a world you know is backwards. Get with the program. Am I not hated here? And I'm telling you, training my opponents like you ain't boxing good enough. We ain't even thrown no fists yet. This is like Dragon Ball. And I'm telling you, man. There is something about the black man. There was something about Samson. There's something about Solomon. There's something about David. Samson was considered for his strength. And what strength do you think that Samson was considered for? Knowing that he had a way around town with these young ladies. Being so strong, what type of strength do you think they wonder about? How many people go to strength shows that you know of? Seems like Samson was the talk of the town. My number is 11. If you watch Hunter by Hunter, I'm like Uvo Gang. Everything you come with, I just knocked down. I ain't even trying. I look at Godzilla and I call him my child. Based upon his behavior. Why would I control him? What he's doing is proof in the fact that he's not conscious and he does childish things. Everybody's got a worm inside of him, even him. Wouldn't he be nothing more than a tentacle? Why should I worry over an image rather than what an image can do? I'm always hated as a black man. It's always me against the world. I ain't got shit to lose. I'm not a nigga you want beef with. Then you make me raise me up in the fucking suburbs? Have you lost your mind? I've been brined inside of the white sickness. Black people call me Oreo. I got nowhere to run. I'm a nigga from Hyperia throwing up two hands like fuck them all. John Wick has resurrected. Niggas want to judge that candle not knowing that's their life. What else can you see? You can't get beyond yourself. Jesus came in the flesh. You can't get beyond that. So therefore you can't see God. So you live inside the black hole of the ego, and that represents the mentality of the flesh. And by your mentalities, I separate you no different than beasts of the field. And I got a staff, but I ain't got a business. But don't call me a shepherd. And this shit is like Dragon Ball, man. And from my time speaking, with the more articulate I get, some of you may have noticed, I have been stuttering a lot. This thing is natural, and this disposition, knowing that Moses had a speech impediment, and you dare not have my things at my door in God's country. This fire you will feel, and it will be of your own. I hope you are like Cinderella. And now I am turning America into a Disney princess. No different than the princesses that you created in Operation Paperclip. And now they walk around disassociated under my control, which is controlled by different words you speak and your intentions. And therefore, they're just vessels and tentacles that walk by me. They all look the same. But they say I'm the one that's different. I don't know how that is. Narrow is the way, wide is the road to destruction. Why would I stick my penis in that? So Samson had a certain strength that he was the talk of the town. You see, people struggle in this day and age, and that happens when you get paper paid, and I don't get paper paid, and I do the double dutch. And this world is like Jim Crow. You can look at the triage of the feet on the crow of how it divides society, and I'm not a part in any slice of the pie, so nobody can fuck with me. But amongst the ladies, I suppose I would be the talk of the town. By all these archetypes that would suggest those that would seem I would be like Samson. Yeah, they get by, but something is lacking. They're not quite that happy. So you know when they talk about Samson, it's talking about that strong arm. It's talking about that third leg, man. They want to know, how does that? And this is where individuals get into this whole debacle. Men wonder, oh, does size matter? I mean, well, shit, so to a certain extent. All right? I'm not going to fucking sit up here and lie to you. To a certain extent, but listen. If you got 2 inches or something, you're doing fine. Most of the time, these females, when they out in public, they don't have nothing but a pocket thing anyway. They fucking, you got 2 inches, you fine, man. You fine. Just fucking pummel the thing. But hey, not violence though. Don't violence. You know, kind of have some finesse and shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be careful with some of these chicks with hip dysplasia, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I mean, I do, but it's like, gosh, damn. The drugs are so good, you don't feel anything. You have to get hip dysplasia in order to feel it. That's not a good thing. So I would say the first indication, if you're an individual that may be in a different stature, that you might want to. I would stick with maybe weed. Maybe stick with weed or something like that. Because that's the only time that these situations will come into effect. Now, when it comes into severe situations in such matter, this would be due to some type of sensory deprivation due to some introduced stimulation, and people get so acclimated or addicted to the stimulation of such substance that it drowns out the other situation, and then those two things be conflicted. So then you cross-reference or connotate the sexual stimulation with the amount of stimuli that you're having with the drugs, generally, because people at that point when they do such things take it in such abundance, and that, I suppose that's why they are walking around looking like they just blew out a rave with hip dysplasia out here. You know what I'm saying? You give your body time to rest. Do some Kegels, and you know what I'm saying? Guys, I mean, if you're laying into it, it's got to be an unconscious. What happens is when females do drugs and they don't know themselves. What happens is they get taken on a ride with the dragon. They're more susceptible to spirits. So when they start becoming starry-eyed, which it's cool if you're chilling, but I don't want to see you get starry-eyed, right? And two, you guys, I don't have any drugs or anything. I'm just relating this from college. And if a police come or whatever, you can search my house or whatever. Just make sure you bring me a few dollars because I'm fucking struggling here. You know what I'm saying? But you can search the house. I ain't got shit to do. But let that be said. In my house, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got shit to hide. People say, why you want to do that? Because it's just like people is just so fucking crazy, man. I can't talk about anything because of what other niggas is doing. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not putting up with this fucking bondage in this false world, this matrix, this construct. I'm not fucking getting caught up with you, Agent Smiths, and this infinite darkness, which is such an illusion. All of this shit is created, and it only exists by relativity to me. There is no darkness without light. So, the fact of the matter is, listen. This Samson was known according to, and people thought that would promote that Samson, that brawn, again, that brawn and being strong and being intelligent don't go together. And the fact Samson during his day and time spoke with peoples, the Samsons, the you know, whoever Samson, John Samson, at the time, okay, spoke with peoples and parables and riddles and things of this nature that they were beyond figuring out, like someone who has the spirit of life. Okay, and how Samson got gathered is because he gave the keys of his heart to some young lady, and through the many various soul ties with Solomon, and with David, you know, with a woman who was would wash herself, Bathsheba. And we look at these things as, like, take for instance a sin of David or something, but you got to correlate what type of day and age and time that they were living, and the morals and ethics is based upon perfection of which they held to. And you have to understand the separation of ego pertaining to flesh, which we have to put on. Okay, so he was given to a certain mistake, but in such a mistake, I want you to pay attention to this with King David. Why was that woman washing herself in a place in which she could be seen? Okay, but we don't look at this as this type of story. I mean, in front of a window or outside or something like that. I mean, you know, evidently, I mean, this individual, although they may not have known that David was looking, or however closer in proximity this individual was to where King David was at, okay, Bathsheba had to know to some degree what she was doing, okay, and she was enticing him, and this is talking about a seducing spirit or a thought, okay, that David was enticed with. This fruit was a fruit that correlate with what scripture would connotate as sin. Okay, and when he took of this fruit, he begot a son, and that son that he begot, correlating with that type of fruit, rendered a negative result because his spirit was different than the spirit that was with that beautiful thought. Okay. And the progeny of their thoughts coming together created a kid that will ultimately find his way into having some type of enmity and trying to kill his father, Absalom. Absalom tried to kill King David. You see, so you have to mind who you get with. Now, Solomon didn't have any children, but he gave, you know, he gave sin keys to his heart, is what he did. And when he did this thing, it brought undesirable results, and he asked to be delivered. Okay? So you're talking about strong individuals with internal kingdoms, such as a beyonder, when you have the spirit of life on you. And Samson, you know, his strength, he lost his strength. And in my case here, I will tell you this, I lost my strength, man. I really did. A lot of the females that I dated, they were great, but they were not dealing with the Bible like that, man. And just by dating them, man, and yeah, we had relations, but just by dating them and just that, and like breaking up or whatever, you know, whatever things they were, they had an agenda. They were playing the game. I'm not playing this fucking game like that. I didn't eat from the tree. I don't do that type of shit. So they had ulterior motives. And yeah, man, I lost my mojo. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. When you see Undercover Brother or whatever, I lost my fucking mojo, man. That's what got taken from me, the swagger. And you see the vultures, you see white people with swagger and all this types of shit now. But it's like you look and you see them do it, and it's like, why are you wasting it? And God said that he will bring a kingdom to rule over us that will abhor us. It's written in the Bible, in the Old Testament. Okay? And that means when you see your swagger and your expression and your culture that other people are rocking or whatever, and it's like, all right, whatever. It doesn't mean that everybody that looks in this situation is a fucking vulture pertaining to individuals that have taken the time to get down to your culture, even if they made such sacrifices in order to get down with that culture. So it's not always in a certain type of thing. There's certain individuals that I would have to point out. Like take for instance, you know what I'm saying? But it's speculatory. It's speculatory. But I don't have anything that is fucking physically obvious to say that fucking DJ Vlad is correlated with any type of fucking government agency. I really don't, man. I really think that he's really into the hip hop industry. He's been doing it for a lifetime. He's had prior lifetimes where he's been doing fucking hip hop. DJ Academic's been in the game for a mad long time. Been doing in the industry. Yo, he's a fucking giant, dude. He's been doing this in fucking prior lifetimes and shit. He's been doing this shit for hella long. Hella fucking long. That dude is dangerous as fuck. He's hella good at that shit. You know what I'm saying? And fucking Vlad. So you know what I'm saying? When I say like Vlad, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't necessarily say I don't necessarily see that with Vlad at all. And he's true to himself. Look, the motherfucker wear jumpsuits, man. You know how Russians get down. Hey, he's all about the hip hop. Hey, man, that's a real ass Russian. That's a real ass Russian, man. Hey, man, and he, you know what I'm saying? He talks to people and things of this nature. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would pose to think one thing you don't know is the sacrifices maybe that he had made in order to be involved with that culture, and this thing that has come upon him, he does not see to any such extreme deficit in the sense that he would obtusely speak out or have some type of overbearing defensive reaction. I would say speak to his innocence. You know, and I'm saying towards the culture. I think that he's sincere, and oftentimes it's dangerous when you're in a cutthroat world, when you come across someone that's sincere, where it's like, and you know how they treat white people that like black people. You know how they treat. That's why them wildlings are scared as fuck. You know how they treat them. It may not be as frowned upon in society. It may not be as overt as it was in the fucking 60s or something, but it's just like, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck are you doing? There are deeper beefs, I guess, apparently towards black man. I don't fucking get it. Maybe because a nigga's strong. It's like, damn, he put it down, we gon' fuck it. It's over. If the archetype of them niggas start putting it down, nigga, it is over. You understand what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's just like an example, you know? So when I speak of vulturism, I'm not speaking of all the same. You know, when I talk about like Eminem, when I talk about different things like that, when I talk about Action Bronson, I mean, and I can't get too deep into this because I gotta leave it alone. But hey, man, I would think very hard, man. I would think very hard if white people are actually white, or if there are vultures that is mixed in, because look at the gravity of realness of some white people. It's not just the same as others. And some niggas will find some shit amongst white people, thinking that shit is sweet, thinking that individual is actually white as they perceive. They, the engine is different in different cars. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That white dude fights like a black dude. Well, shit, I don't know why. You see, I see in the spirit. Okay? I see in the spirit. This physical shit is superficial. It really ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? So when I say I don't got time to fight at my knees, it's not me putting you down. It's causing me to realize that due to your perception, there's a limitation or a cutoff between your intellect or your knowledge in which we can have a conversation, and you're cursed by the knowledge that you have. So therefore, I would always seem to be the problem, would I not? Yeah, I give you things such that maybe Samson would give you such as parables and things of this nature. With the way that I communicate or pertain to my particular gift, then you might not quite understand. That may seem perplexing. Did not Samson do this thing? All right. But I'm not from the north, or else I would have friends, right? So that cancels that out. So that will put me in a Solomon and a David attribute, which there is a genetic link between the two tribes. Is it not? Solomon, like, of the only king that had, like, what, peace for 40 years or some shit, based upon wisdom. And David, who was able to conquer his enemies and oppression, okay? And, you know, with, both of these individuals, including Samson, had God in common, in which they would cry out to God. No different than John, or any of the or the characters would represent archetypes or summaries of individuals that are mixed into this earth, that are spirits that correlate with archetypes of the Most High God, which are anomalous to categories and boxes pertaining to perception, which knowledge could place us into, and this would make us peculiar and put us in the 144K attribute, and you will know you're in there because your friends will be scarce. It would have to be. All these other individuals were more pliable or got trapped by the hunter and circumstances, so on and so forth, right? And why would I judge many of them, in which the only reason that I may have been able to say it is because there has been many steps and many preparations before I even got here, based upon my father and how I was raised, even my mother, even if sometimes they acting different with me, that I had to see beyond the wall to understand and forgive and say something is going on, and I know something is up with you, and as soon as I fucking figure out what the fuck is going on, because I can tell there's some spiritual shit going on with my family. And boy, I gotta tell you, man, listen, I'm a wild nigga. I will find some shit. I don't have to be in your area to touch you. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. You could listen to the same podcast as everybody else and hear something completely different with me, because I'm speaking in a spiritual manner. All right? It's too quick. It's the Spirit of God, man. It's so quick that after I finish speaking to you, like, I know what I'm saying right now in the moment, but like, after I fucking, you know what I'm saying, record this, I don't hear this again. I don't play it before I upload it. I don't do any of that shit. I record on that day, then I just upload it, and I hear it when I play it to you. I know what I'm saying in the moment, because I'm in the moment, but it's like a black space, almost as if I'm teleporting. I see everything around me. It's not like a visual, but it's like my concentration level is I am exactly in the place where I need to be, pertaining to every word that comes out of my mouth, which correlates with the things that I'm saying in the moment. But it is so quick, okay, that when it's recorded, it's like I look back and I may remember certain hallmarks or topics that I talked about, but not exactly what I said. So you have to have a pure heart when you have the Holy Spirit, because when the Spirit of God comes through you, you know what I'm saying? When it says it illuminates your darkness, or it clears all that out, all this shit is out there. My humility is before you. I upload it and we hear the same fucking thing at the same fucking time. We really do. So imagine if I say anything fucking crazy or whatever like happened before, it happened because I had an innocent nature, and I had to pay for consequences and shit that I said before that were fucking racist, that weren't my own, because you also had to fight this spirit along with having God's spirit. Okay? So if his spirit causes to code through you, then you end up becoming an active shooter, or fucking saying some shit that'll make the world cave in. My point to you wasn't to run away from his challenge in terms of like, oh, you're gonna say racist shit, but go double down into it to show you that I could walk across the coals and not get burned, but yet he will not follow and cannot do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Because I will not fall for no man, and I will not fall for no spirit that is not the Spirit of God. I don't know why I would. This has been bred into me. White people couldn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some dragons that maybe if they happen to come under black skin or whatever, Nagas or whatever, went through certain persecutions and shit like that. But dude, this is in our fucking genetics DNA. That super soldier shit is just naturally in there. We don't fucking understand the gun jamming. We don't understand. We don't know nothing about that. We do that shit whether it's wartime or not. We don't collect it and shoot at fucking steel targets. We don't do that shit. Okay? We got a lot of exercise. We got to run all the time. You know what I'm saying? Even with our smoking habit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a different oppression than wearing a weight vest and doing CrossFit, running around a track eating the best proteins and all sorts of things, being sponsored by the fucking government on some government super soldier shit. Nah, we don't have any of that. We running down the street with a fucking hammer, pulling our pants up in a fucking Black and Mild at the same time. And we can run fast as fuck. That Jamaica shit you see in the Olympics, it just happens to be here somehow. I don't know why. I guess it's the curry in me. I don't really get it. We just happen to have them fast twitch muscles, right? So in terms of that, in which we would say that we have been constructed to be genetically built, which was a facet of the game since the beginning of this thing correlating with deep state, was the designation or the design of the black man. I am that I am, or I will be that I will be. But if you stop the genetic line, and I have proven to be gifted in some sort of a way, then you really have fucked yourself, and you have destroyed the waters of this fucking pool. And I could at least admire you for the fact of acknowledging the fact that we can't send him that, because that would be bad and we're gonna get fucked up. Correlating with the commodities that I would call wildlings in the earth, I have to assume that they are destroyed. That's the katana. This is risk assessment. This is, I mean, and I just call it chess. But really, it's like fucking war tactics. That's why the Bible calls it spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? And the Spirit of God, and when it's written in the Bible that we would be spaced out, we are as legionnaires. And I look at Tim as my brother that went down, that got shot for calling in that bomb threat, because who calls in a fucking bomb threat unless an individual doesn't have a plan? And this individual came out of the military. These two things contradict already, along with the fact that he played World of Warcraft, and they said that he was on fucking Nazi sites. Fuck all that. None of that shit fucking makes sense. And he got fucking 5 adopted children. Listen, there's too many things, no matter what happened in life, that would distract him from doing that exact same thing that doesn't make any fucking sense. Especially coming out for someone that comes out of the U.S. military. I would say that the Navy poorly fucking trains their soldiers if that was the outcome of that situation, and that was real. But it really did happen. I mean, Tim has passed away. He's not here. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, can I believe that story? Does any of that fucking add up? You know what I'm saying? He was a youth minister at a fucking church. They want to peg him with all this fucking dude. Research take you some fucking crazy ass areas, all right? And they would have been on him long before he called that thing in. You know, they would have been looking at what he bought, what type of websites he went to, would have set off triggers and all sorts of shit. Okay? So that, whatever happened with that is a mystery to me. You understand? That shit really fucking bothered me, dude. You know what I'm saying? And then I happen to be in this predicament where I have a fucking sun in my chest, and niggas is stressing me out, cause I got basic necessities. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This shit is fucking with my blood pressure, and you know what happened when my blood pressure get fucked up? Hey man, listen. I just want kids to stay in school, nigga. But just because fall is coming, that don't mean we have to let go of summer. Summer could be here forever. You understand? Hey man, listen. Samson, Solomon, David, they all had become subdued at a certain point in their life, correlating with the type of thoughts that they have. And I'm showing you a thought that's just on edge of mine. And it's a circumstance that was seen betwixt me, and I'm saying, I gotta see my kids, bruh. You understand what I'm saying? You would want to get that forklift and find my garage with my shit. You understand? Cause like, you know what I'm saying? I know you love your kids. I sure do love mine. You understand? And I don't have any kids in this earth or this reality. And this would seem schizophrenic, would it not? Except no one can fuck with it, because that would be the admission that these things are real. So no fucking professional or courtroom is gonna fucking touch this with anything. So I mean, hello. You know what I'm saying? Make this right. You know what I'm saying? I got, some things I gotta get at the dentist. I gotta get some dentist work done. You know what I'm saying? And I got a homie from a former lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I feel, you know what I'm saying? She's on Chatterbait. You know, and her name is Chris, KRIS _ like, I don't know, this might be L67 or something like that, or maybe it's 167 L67. Anyways, she's brunette. She has a BMW. Her car needs to be fixed, and she has some dental stuff. You know, we struggle. We got to go through when you're oppressed. You got to go through some complications pertaining to dental stuff, because somehow you just have supernatural situations that come on your teeth. No matter having dental insurance and fucking like growing up, I had dental insurance and brushing my teeth and everything. It's no way I would be missing my bottom 4 teeth on the right hand side. It's no fucking way. And I have to like dealing with so many. This has got to be some witchcraft shit. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that fucking. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there, and I feel like this thing is a basic need. I don't think anybody should worry about their teeth. Like the dental plan, you know what I'm saying? You know what? You should get Dr. Mike from fucking Comfort Dental in Missouri in Independence. Now he may have changed location. Just ask for Dr. Mike. They'll be able to find him. Hey man, there should be some type of governmental program. I don't have a car or anything. There's got to be something done at a baseline for individuals if you're going to have a catch-net society where it's just like, well, you didn't make the cut. You're just going to sit here on fucking society, be trapped in your house and become homeless, and we're just going to wine press the fuck out of you. Okay? You're going to have to give people a place to live if you don't want to see people dying in the streets. Financial things will have to change even if you evaporate the middle class, because people are still going to have a way to make it. You can't regard you can't accrue a growing problem of the homeless. People are going to have to go somewhere. Are you going to push everybody out of the United States that is homeless? Where are they going to go? Are we all going to go to New York and meet up with the Venezuelans? Because it talks about the beast. Or is America the beast? I mean, what the fuck is going on? Is America the belly of the beast? Is this where the revelations go down? Is this what is being formulated? Are the elite saying, like, now is the time that we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's looking crazy. I'm getting a mixed story here. I see some things good, some things bad, and I think that this reality is going to branch off or split, because I'm seeing opposing stories overlapping one another, coexisting in the same place, which would correlate like that consciousness as well. All right, with the free will and the individuals within God's sovereignty, to know that all things must work to the good according to God, because it correlates with God mind or large mind. Okay, and even though you are borrowing a piece of His life or consciousness to exist and have your sovereignty and self-will, so on and so forth, you are not going to get in the way of God putting His mind back together. It's going to come back together, and it looks like this is the separation of wheats and tares, and the division, because the eclipse is the black sun, which is a black hole or reality that's going to vortex into that void or that bottomless pit or that fire, with individuals that's not dealing with the Most High God, that's not conscious. You are as a sickness that must be separated from individuals that think in a certain type of way. All right, so there's going to be a thorn betwixt our realities. Okay, and all the midst of the time, I'm up here and I'm trying to tell you niggas certain good options that have choices that may be in a better position to meet between the different belts, which things would support. And I'm gonna say a white belt is about where I'm at, but right there, you're going to be more of in a caretaker situation. Now, sisters, the black belt, like I said, listen, man. These are experienced relationships. Okay, the black woman, if she see one thing that is fucking wrong, or she even senses it, she might not even see it. Bro, she gonna be on your ass, nigga. She gonna be fucking on your ass. Like, it's gonna be so crazy, dude. And like the other ones are subtle, but like a black female, she has subtle ways. She could be subtle, you know, and very motherly qualities. It's very beautiful. But then like most of the time, she just comes straight in your head with the shit. Like, Like, yo, why was you out there fucking up the other day? And it's like, yo, I was like 5 minutes late. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? They liable to, they do certain things. Sometimes they can look at you a certain type of way, and the shit is fucked up, nigga. Like, it's just like, yo, I fucking sleep on the couch tonight. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead. Like, they don't even have to ask. It's just that you don't want to put it. That's the experience level. Now, listen, dude. I don't know about that. I haven't, and people have changed a lot from the 90s, From the 90s, sisters was laid back and everything like that. But, like, people have been heartbroken and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, everything is my fault. And I notice people hate on individuals when they see some type of archetype of individual that they may like that are female in this day and age. Because, like, just like you guys get mad at me when I have to kill it, and I say, well, I can't have this, so I have to kill the dream. I have to kill the idea. So I start killing it, right? Cracking jokes and things like that. And yet, this is what females do all day. And they get together and do it over dudes. So it really wouldn't suggest the fact that they are so pliable and wish to face that they can be lesbian. That it isn't necessarily so to such this large consensus. This is not natural. Okay. So this is a reflection of how things are running in society. Okay, in which there needs to be a split or a time off between males and females for one. Okay, this is why this happened. There is an overstructure beyond. You are a reaction to something else. Okay, you may have caused something, and for the solution, you are reacting MGTOW and feminism to something much more massive than you. Okay, in this electromagnetic reality that constitutes spirits and consciousness within God's body. You know what I'm saying? So in order to fix things, right, you have to allow someone to fix it, right? So that means you got to get out the way. That's usually that's what happens every single time. Usually when you want God to fix something, he'd be like, I know how to fix this. Then he moves you out of the way. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can't see the beam that's in our own eye and shit. That's what really be happening. You know what I'm saying? And when you are a strong character, such as maybe a Solomon or a King David or something like that, you have a strong fucking personality, and shit don't be making sense. And sometimes it be God working, But honestly, I think this is fucking white people's fault, and I have a right to blame white people because I've been blamed for so long, and now it's white people's turn to be the fucking it's white people's fault now. Okay. It's all your fault, and your obsession over power has proven your immaturity as a fucking race. And I'm up in this bitch like Invader Zim, and I got my fist that I'm holding up, but it's not up high. You know what I'm saying? My wrist is facing up, and I'm holding my fist, up to about where my eye is. You understand what I'm saying? Like Invader Zim. And I'm saying, get your shit together. I've taken some of them fucking wilder, and where's the shit at my house? We can make this all potentially go away, at least some of it. Yeah, but I'm gonna need my shit, and I'm not thirsty. You know what I'm saying? About to get on my Daniel Day-Lewis side of the game and drink your fucking milkshake. Pause. Like I said, the Romans. You understand what I'm saying? I want my shit. This is called word dropping, when individuals word drop and you say things and you have to constantly say pause and everything like that. It's because you understand that individuals that are not conscious, their mind is going to keep going past the point. They're not able to detect the different gears on the bike when you switch gears of explaining certain things. That's why black people do that. Okay? Say pause and shit. All right? So the fact of the matter, man, when we see individuals, a lot of individuals, they are going to be a reflection of us as we are a reflection of them. And therefore, these reflections of ourselves are as rankings of our performance or our past performance. And the greatest, most definitely true, because what else can be seen except for that which is reflected between individuals, okay? Which would have to have some ideation of familiarity in most cases for individuals to see such things, unless they are able to think outside of themselves also. Okay, from an altruistic standpoint, from agape, a true place of unconditional love, which would be God. Okay, so that's why another reason I asked if individuals know God or not, to understand their motives and intentions of why they're doing things. Okay, but so whoever you meet will be in relativity and in accordance to either circumstances in your life or afflictions of what you have going on at the time, and this will base a lot of times largely on where your conscious is at, whether your conscious is within or whether you are dealing with a purely existentialism will seem to change modes potentially in the reality that you exist inside of. Okay, but the three tribes, Samson, Solomon, and David, all had God in common, and man has one thing that is generally in common with men, especially with men of God, that is not necessarily exhibited with the white noise, and that is females, and a lot of times coming in the form of wildlings if one is not careful, because it's a mixed bag. You know what I'm saying? It is. These are largely operations, even motivated by the CIA, to take an individual down, both spiritually and physically. This is the only sin in which God tells us to run from, is pertaining to these other things, because behind the veils of perception and knowledge, if these individuals host spirits that are not reflective of yourself, but comes from a place of desperation and need, and have separation anxiety and become needy, so on and so forth, would be the same thing as if you were trying to soberize, and THC and weed or something like that, I don't know how it works, is attracted to either fat or protein cells or something like that inside of your body, and you can't get yourself free. Okay, this same thing can operate. A bad relationship could coincide as a cancer inside the God body. Okay, and yet people stay together due to circumstances, whether it be financial or otherwise, and situations that would prove to be unhealthy. And a lot of people, prime number one suspect for this is the black man. You are Rosemary, as coming out of slavery, being a commodity. Okay, that is no longer exactly a commodity, and that is getting stronger by each day. All right, the eugenics and everything like that's been set before you were even born has been set up to take you out. All right, on a date, but this date is different. All right, just remember, when you get married, it's until death do you part. All right, allegedly, but what constitutes death? Okay. So, but here, when you're married to the state, it has to be dictated on physical criteria, damn near. Right? So, in you eloping under God through your certificates, do you not also marry God to the state? And this will be the connection, and also the works of the magic for those in deep state who do not deal with the Most High God. That acts as a situation of a partition over your life, or government over your life, or control over your thoughts, along with you casting the ballot as well, is a type of agreement or spiritual agreement as well. You see what I'm saying? So, hey man, listen, black man, you gotta be careful with who you deal with. All right. Now, for any youngsters out there that's generally in high school or college age, unlike comparative to when I was growing up in the 90s, because the 90s was very lush and it seemed like things were a lot different, is the fact that in the 90s I would tell kids, yeah, go fucking date, have fun, live your life, find something that has meaning or value, get good at something, experience life. Now I say focus on your school, your education, try to network, which is actually more important than your education in this world of nepotism. Land you someplace that's prominent. Navigate yourself to some the right type of friends, but know the balance in between coming in accordance to a certain type of job, that you don't come under situations that is required of you that will turn you into a commodity again. Meaning, out of nepotism and favor, you end up some type of cuck or slave. This is someone's sex slave beyond the point that you would particularly enjoy. Because initially, when people think of these things, they think of things that they can live with, and generally you cannot unless you are a wildling. Okay, wildlings are highly pliable. They're like, you know, supple little plastic or something. They're just, you know, that's why they're into Hindu and yoga and all sorts of things of this nature, because it correlates with the psychology and the circumstances and trauma of them being caught in these situations, according to former and past tribes, according to their lineage, that was based upon survival. Okay. A lot of these females, depending on their circumstance or which life they exhibit, come up in circumstances where their compromises are so many that they end up in some type of disassociated disillusionment. So you kind of have to help them along, unless they have necessary knowledge of evil, which pertains to particular tax brackets and demographics of where they generally live. Out in certain parking residences. But like I said, anyways, the commonality between these things is that the black man must have control over his mind and thoughts, because those are going to come first, according to the desire in which they see a beautiful young lady. And there are correlating values or archetypes of psychologies that pertain to races in a general sense, that those stereotypical to some degree in a general sense is not. Okay. And correlating with knowing yourself and what type of individual you are, and if the shoe fits, as in Cinderella or so on and so forth. If an individual, if you're dating or dealing with a Disney princess or a trophy, just because you have that trophy, when individuals flaunt that shit around me based upon some type of superficial insecurity, the first thing I know is that they don't have a real real relationship with that young lady. And then I look at her and I see that she is tranced out, and I'm like, dude, you're just perpetuating that will. You got to, you have to, you know what I'm saying? If you got a girlfriend, you got to open your present, man. You got to you got to get her, you know, you got to get them talking, and you have to figure out what has happened with them, because a lot of times they are coming from not only a spiritual side, but coming from a history pertaining to their background, a lot of traumas, which doesn't necessarily go away according to tax bracket, but more so these things turn into coercions, oppressions, and things that they keep secret inside the lines. And black man, you don't want to be introduced into some interesting situations such as the brother in Get Out, pertaining to archetypes of spirits and what these spirits that are connected to certain individuals tend to do, which would pertain to the curses of which you escaped, and the things that have been enacted on you is as an unbiased measure in this proprietary plan. So if a wildling does not deal with the Most High God, and I mean in a sincere sense in their heart from the core basic principles, I'm not talking about them going to church, I'm talking about them keeping the 10 commandments and having a value towards the truth. This same is your enemy. You have to see it in the spiritual sense. You know, find something else that is going to lead to your detriment. And this would be the same with other races, but it tends to be the most prominent within the wildling race also. But consequently, you also have the opportunity to find a really great situation where it's not so hectic and challenging at initial start in these type of relationships in the white belt range. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right, especially after COVID and the social situation of this world is as a restart. Okay, now unfortunately, white females, which are wildlings, have been pre-programmed to believe since the 90s. It was a deep state effort amongst whites to program the white female to believe that black men are after them, especially ever since earlier time periods pertaining to the movies and things of this nature. This silver spoon nuance is a type of a program that has been programmed in order to cause segregation between the races. But part of this segregation between the races come from an insecurity in which white people have a native understanding that they are sick. So no matter how good you can fight, given the fact of how I look at things and the blood that runs through your veins, when you have enmity with me, you have forgot the face of your father. And you are not my child, and it does not count as abuse. And it does not count as abuse because you're not my child unless you're obedient. Now, on to other topics. Spirit baby. Listen, man. The female can be a formidable foe that is often used by the adversary Satan, which has a pattern within the Bible as a catch-all or a fail-safe to work. Which means when you are blessed to have something such as a girlfriend or a wife, you have to ask yourself why for the first reason, and for the second degree would be the fact are you a Mason or not? And if you're a Mason, based upon the fact so that you can support your family of this girl that you liked and you started dating, you have to ask yourself, did the Adjustment Bureau put you together to put you in a circumstance where you would get her pregnant, where you will ultimately end up in the chains of masonry? And which, of course, what else can be done except give you providence? If I bless you, then you will stay in ignorance and you will not challenge your mind. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out. Hey man, listen. It is about midnight. Alright. I'm not too sure how many more of these entries I'm going to record. And the reason for that is just like, I mean, it's like consciousness, like it's like the one eye on the minion represents consciousness. Alright? And I gotta say, man, sinking my fist, talking to you guys, some of you guys, I'm not saying all of you, alright, but some of the situations here, it feels as I'm sinking my fist into just like a fucking abyss, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just splashing water, you know, pertaining to minds, you know. I feel like, but I do feel like a lot of people have heard some of the things I had to say, despite being ignored so much, which I have shown, according to attention, how difficult it is to ignore someone. It actually takes quite a bit more attention. It is an effort to do so, and in doing something in a particular place, then this obviously would cause other areas within your consciousness, you know what I'm saying, in which you would have to specifically ignore stimuli. So when it's an attentive ignoring in which an individual always has to pay attention to what they're not paying attention to, versus things they are nonchalantly distracted by, you know, from moment to moment. And this would be an interesting indicator of what I've experienced, not only online but here. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like, hey, you know, I have been helping a lot of people, and what I have found is that of the works in the flesh and the drawing of resources in the trade, no matter how much my words have life, individuals or animals, they will eat. Okay, they will eat into society all that you offer from your hand to help, and leave you destitute. All right, and molded in some state of existential despair, while you have provided life from their intrinsic functions. And this just shows you the situation of a zombie which doesn't recognize themselves pertaining to their own consciousness. You know, the narcissism in the aspect of one not having a core essence is as vain as the activity of vanity itself, beholding one's reflection as if the image is what constitutes the individual, and where that individual places intention would be no different than a sin of witchcraft, in which intention is misplaced also. You see what I'm saying? But then to put such things in oneself, as in the manifestation of such things, then can start to create this almost this bottomless pit of some form of self-centeredness. And because of some victims of this situation, it's not so much that they are narcissistic in their sense, but in the archetypal sense, or the deification of godhood pertaining to the ego, which correlates with perception and knowledge. Because your neighbor does a certain type of thing, or your neighbors, or your country, or your city, or your government. You know, when you spread these things out on a one-by-one basis, from individual to individual, on whatever anomalous thing that they must do in order to survive, pertaining to some type of knack, okay, to make it in this type of society and live in a relatively safe place, I have some of these really good privileges. You know, there are certain things that are just not fitting within our typical society, which there has to be some type of concentrated organization, organized situation where there is a pocket of excusable rules that business can be conducted in order for society to sit. And this would also include you know what I'm saying, destitute areas or underprivileged areas. You see what I'm saying? And then of these underprivileged areas, there has to be some form of a sacrifice for the rest of society to live a better life. And the difference between this situation is this is not a situation that is pertaining to punishment. Like I said, the Australians were the Australians are a civilization allegedly that came upon criminals, and yet here I am in America in this situation, and nobody has brought me no bag of weed or money, and I'm not allowed to work. I mean, look how beautiful Australia is, and niggas go to jail for helping the economy. And this is not that I constitute drugs, because along with the situation of pharmacology is the fact of the matter that they it has to a certain aptitude be illegal, because it could only be a pocket of space in which are excusable laws and rules, which will be given or on a basis of nepotism, a larger privilege in which this individual can do more than just stay afloat. And because of the laws and procedures of laws, this individual, though they would have a good heart to help other individuals, cannot, based upon the vulnerability of their life, and then also putting them in a gag. And now we have censorship on top of this thing, which is also intricate, pertaining to YouTube and situations of this manner. Okay. The fact of the matter is you are given free speech in this country, but your allowance to be able to speak your mind is no different than any other country in the other world. So I have to readjust the situation in which I came, where I was saying that society, to some degree, or America as a civilization or a corporation, will have to be adjusted based upon our freedoms and liberties if we're going to have a one nation government. But this is not me coincidentally coming to understanding the black market and these underground circuits in which these individuals, and by archetypes of thought and knowledge, can behold a particular God for whatever particular reason that they choose to hold that God, and can have a commonality between these deities that represent the underground, which would separate the communication or nature of understanding on what side of the game they are in playing this COINTELPRO world corporate citizen of America, that is no different than a film such as Knives Out, where individuals have knacks to grow up in such a way situations where it's an echo chamber of building MK Ultra assets that have particular talents and gifts, which can be rootkitted pertaining to the mind or sorcery. If individuals use the other path to, it would seem, be able to transfer from vessel to vessel, devoid of that individual actually taking the time to study that situation. In some scientific situations, this would be considered to be the Rhesus monkey experiment, although I suppose this is not what I'm speaking of. Okay? What I'm speaking of is, let's say you take someone like Mike Tyson or Joe Rogan, take for instance. You take one of these guys, and they've trained their body and what have you, and have the ability to do, here's the deer and shit out here, fucking like, after midnight, and it's like between the two fields, they're in this field where I'm at, and it's the whole family. They just stop whatever they're doing. They look at me the entire time, and I'm telling you, that's not normal. The other place I was gonna walk over there, the kids at the playground where I do pull-ups. Now they have a car parked outside of there, and these individuals definitely know I ain't a pedophile because these niggas is pedophiles. So you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, and it's like if it's midnight and you drive a black van, why are you parking at a fucking park, dude? That looks suspect as fuck. You could park down here at the school and sleep under the light. Dude, this place is so fucking weird. And I forgot where I was going with that conversation because of this type of shit. And I'm telling you, the timing of these things, all right, is paranormal phenomena because it always pertains to what I'm thinking about or doing at the time, in which you are being watched at all times. All right, even though we don't have the beast system rolled out, I'm saying between the beasts of the field and the air and what type of consciousnesses are placing these people. Yeah, I'm showing you deep state here. I mean, when you look at movies like fucking Face Off and Selfless and all these things like this, hey man, they know how, whoever the powers that be, they know how to switch and put, if I'm in a crazy situation or whatever, maybe I can fight like a Joe Rogan or Mike Tyson. No different than the Matrix. They could do this spiritually. Okay? So how can we not call this a Matrix? You know, you have to collapse the frame of before we had particular knowledge to separate things according to stereotype, such as light and dark. And the issue with stereotypes in this world and the simplification of individuals that don't have a conscience to understand the words that they are particularly using is the fact of the matter that a fucking we constituted, okay, in former times, okay, maybe in early man, what things were according to their attributes or their behavior, which would be a spiritual specification in a general sense. Okay, so when we look at a light has specific qualities that are in contrast to what we would consider to be darkness, even though darkness technically isn't a thing. Okay, darkness is an adjective, and light, I suppose, light is not an adjective necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Dark is. So a light is an actual thing. You understand what I'm saying? So when we take things and we create this checkerboard, then this polarity between the mind persists. But God only created, allegedly, the lights. The lights, but according to physics, science, or knowledge, is separate from the darkness. But according to God's conscious, light and dark is not separate, but in one space, which would be insight, foresight, so on and so forth. And He is a light comprised of all light. And he dwells in a thick darkness. Think about this. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. If you were playing me in checkers, right? You know what I'm saying? And individuals play players in checkers by playing ahead according to checkers, right? In the spiritual sense, I can only play myself, even though I can perceive the entertainment or image, which would connotate or suggest some persistence of reality in which I play another player. The ability to have perception of partial sight over having omnipresence in order to experience the limitation or the scarcity or anxieties of the ego to perceive through such filter. And in such a filter, my consciousness divided. This thing automatically, just in its division, is false. Though it is an illusion of such realness, and there's falsity in such manner and mental illness, just as much as it has been recognized or become aware of, and medical terms, so on and so forth, at one time had no definitions, nothing to be recognized and nothing to be traced. And these could be gifts that got caught between the partitions of individuals that caused oppressions within their mind. and may have to make adjustments according to their senses and way that they think, and we give diagnoses and take away these according to medicines. And I can't say that that isn't necessary, and I can't say that that's not knowledge. But you see, according to knowledge in this thing, there is this trajectory in which there's no way out. So the only way out would seem to be acceptance, and acceptance is like a stage of death. So these things are like echoes and hallmarks according to individuals. And we live in a society that if individuals don't have to work, do you think that they're really going to have to, do you think that they're really going to get up? If they come into the realization of what can happen according to spiritual things and consciousness, that they atrophy and therefore they become enslaved or in bondage to the spirits that they listen to. Even though these spirits allegedly only connection to the earth is the individual, then we will speculate which one is king, and we know that knowledge is therefore those who have less of it, considering we are mortals in the flesh and become so attached to this illusion that we exist inside of. Though we know we're living the dream, we live in scarcity. You know what I'm saying? I bite my nails and my calluses, and even though I think like this, a C student. And this thing would be seen to be godly, though I am not eligible for any positions that would possibly push forward society, given my social gifts and my gifts with communication. Just doing this, revolutionizing many things at once and many industries, and also fighting a beast. Even though I'm just speaking out, standing on 10 toes, and I'm up here without a girlfriend also. And all this bad stereotypes and accusations in which individuals lie. What then knowledge do we have if individuals lie, like I say? The attributes of character and stereotypes in which the thing that you love you cannot have. Therefore, black people are hated as Jews across the world, and we are not recognized but highly ignored and despised by the spirits that understand your secrets that you keep. And by that refraction, I could understand that I'm king. And where the fuck is my shit? There could be a line outside my door right now. I'll pick what I want. And I don't fuck with no kids. And I'm old for many things. And I could tell you that I think that Hyperia was infiltrated, because in Hyperia are spirits which I'm coming to understand in a collective sense represented the God that I understand and knew. But I didn't understand that at 13 at Hyperia. And I didn't understand my particular gifts within the God body. You see what I'm saying? I was betrayed by all my brothers that I would seem to call elders. It was seen. And I'm allowed to think this thing until they resolve that. But they cannot have me if they act such ways. And I dare not directly judge my elder. And the reason why I cannot judge my elder is because of what he did. And I knew what he was doing before we came down here. But I do have issues with saying I wanted to play a game. And there's such things I was aware of I did not speak. Even though I got cheated out of my victories in the last game. And the reason is where we're from, some of us have certain type of gifts or intellects in which no matter what we play, we will seem to be the victor. Therefore, we can't play games. And I was near the end. You see, some of my kids, the gray aliens, they can't play games at all. They can't play any games. Because they're on that, they're so fucking smart. You understand what I'm saying? And I got my kids, my babies, you know. And I've had actual kids, man, you know, in former kingdoms of which I did bits here. I've had actual kids running around, but But these individuals, notice how I really haven't brought them up. I really don't remember them. You see, many odd things has happened to me, man. But I am a king irregardless, and I still have a kingdom, even though my seeds may seem to be missing. And I don't think I return to the same kingdom that I left each time I go back to Hyperia. I think it updates, because that's what was happening with Kevos. Each time I would go back and I would end up in more torment and shit like that, doing these bids and shit. Then Kevos and Cherie and Relax With Me, the ASMRs, they would upgrade, you know. And Relax With Me ended up becoming a model. I can't say if that is the same one, and I don't know what her secrets are not, but she may look like a Victoria's Secret model. She did Victoria's Secret in former lifetimes. She does travel a lot. You understand what I'm saying? Baby girl keeps magnets all on the side of her refrigerator. She does that every lifetime. Relax With Me. She does that every time. She does a video on it every time. Kevas always finds the Adidas girl. And now I'm sitting up here speaking like an architect. 2 children that aren't mine, that fucking hate me and wish to see me die and become a supernova. And my life is the argument of you motherfucking mortals on earth. I will break thee. They took me to the top out of this pyramid one lifetime, and they asked me, all of the Masons, who told the truth in the Bible? And I said, I did. They strapped me to a chair and they tortured me for an ungodly amount of time, and it was horrendous. I could feel the blood soak and the warmth in my jeans. Something about the way blood and the contraction that is so subtle in the grooves of the fibers of the denim that I wore on my pants. And I sat there bleeding, and I told myself not to break, though as sometimes I screamed. There were so many of them. My hands tied behind my back. That's where they got that scene from, like Mar. These are reflections and refractions of me. I could have only fallen into the world of my own mind and the separation of light and darkness. This is an illusion, first and foremost. Jesus didn't write any books of the Bible, and God did not invest himself in the world. And considering privacy, that those that say that they are naked don't understand this environment in which we sit may or may not be. That's a quantum field of thoughts, and things manifest, and it just so seems that we seem to survive despite all instances of odd irregularities of all things that come to us on all sides. The most impossible things come to those who are aware and see signs. It would seem that we are like Groot, and we are regrowing. We have been renewed. There's different teachings and so on. But most of us don't like to grow. And these individuals have been kissed by Ursula, and other individuals that are conscious like to eat them as mushrooms. And then we go on trips and we see the sights. And these sights, though they're delightful, they may deceive us. And then we have feelings and knowledge and perceptions and attachments. And we have characters that we came across in our life. And these characters that we came across look like other individuals. Although if we met those individuals that look like individuals we came across that are famous, these individuals oftentimes wouldn't notice us at all, nor remember us. Even though they have different names, that's the same individual and the same person. Having a connection from former lifetimes. And this would be the representation of clones and the study of man. But these things would be things that I've known from lifetimes before this one. There's different places that individuals we all been to. And these things are collective pertaining to our mind. You could go online and recently you could watch between the last 3 episodes of Enes Ilmiser, okay, E-N-E-S, okay, and he has does presentations on real estate and things of this nature. Okay, be careful with it. Don't get lost in the sauce looking at the houses. All right. Do not gorge on the illusions of this world, but rather see it at the face value. And really, you don't have to look at that. But there was a soap that was on there the last episode that said Aesop. And if you know anything from Deep State or former lifetimes, there was a soap that was used specifically for things that correlated as a trigger to Deep State, and it was called Aesop. Aesop soap. And we got Aesop Rock. You know what I'm saying? The rapper. Okay? These things correlate to triggers in the mind that trigger to former things. And so what am I telling you, man? These former lifetimes do exist. And your personality or character are weighed in the scales of how you grow through these lifetimes. And these are no different than annual rings on a tree and individuals you meet. Okay? Take for instance, I watch this show. I like to watch people get haircuts. I don't know why. Watch this show called Haircut Harry, all right? It's on YouTube, right? It's ASMR, okay? So Haircut Harry, he goes and gets this haircut, and I think the brother lived in Sweden. It's the barber that lives in Sweden, and the runtime of the video is approximately 52 minutes. Okay, and this brother is a brother that I knew back in my lifetime when I was going to college. Me and the homies and shit, we would hit up the fucking club. You know what I'm saying? We would like individuals would break dance and freestyle and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this dude's name was Mark. Okay, we called him Hippie Mark and shit. The dude that's cutting Haircut Harry's in that video is Hippie Mark, and everything about him's the same. He talk the same, everything else like that. Probably does the same things. Probably looks like he probably dances in there, does break dancing and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or particularly freestyle dance according to House. And he's giving this dude a haircut, and he has a shop. All right, this would be in correlation to Deep State, right? So there was another representation or version of Mark when I was going to fucking Purple Fit. You know what I'm saying? And it was him, but it wasn't the same dude that was giving Haircut Harry a haircut, and it wasn't Mark. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy that I knew in the Bay Area when we go breakdancing and shit. It wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? And we would say that these are indications of clones. But if someone particular and familiar and specific to me to recognize as such a clone, and I don't mean when I say there's a difference between when I say genetic link or DNA and individuals that it's the same individual. These, okay, we're the same individual. And the only way that individual would manifest or be recognized in a quantum field would be in relativity to me, in which it would seem that there is a specified number of people which interact with my reality within this quantum field that emit into my atmospheres as some type of particle emitter on fucking After Effects, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, for the record of you niggas, I'm not angry. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Niggas is just scared of masculine energy or something. I'm not angry at all. Trust me, you'll know if I get angry. I'm not allowed, you know what I'm saying? I don't got the luxuries you niggas got to sip on a baby bottle. I can't do it. I have to do some adulting. You understand? Your judgments are off. I hear the voices out there. Listen, I don't got time to fight at my knees, to splash at my knees. I don't want to fight anybody. Okay, you know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is splash the surface of the water, scare people. Okay, of this damn fluid reality of which individuals are trans and correlate with the earth, so on and so forth. They will be given to suggestion, and for this cause I will bring them strong delusion. It's written in the Bible, yet individuals don't understand the shit that they working against they self. Absolution, the entity, the main thing that this entity seems to feed on is delusions and insecurity and doubt. Both of these, taking out these things will fortify your own mind. Okay? And really, individuals got to listen to these things more than once, because that was a key notable thing. And I only said it once. Some things I reiterate. That thing I said once. You have to listen. You got to fortify your fucking mind, man. And you got to get rid of your own person. You got to know yourself, and you got to get rid of your insecurities. So let's say you say, hey man, I like fucking baseball. This entity, what he does in order for you to be in a deficit in which you have needs or need him or something, I suppose, is he will tell you something, anything that will cause you to doubt. So these are elementary examples, but for mine pertaining to specific things, I would think according to the faith, according to scripture, this entity would have to be diametrically opposed or disagree with the things that I say. So therefore, when he naturally speaks, he speaks a lie. So therefore, the things that he says is a lie. So therefore, insecurities is a lie. And when did Adam and Eve know of insecurities? When they came into perception and when they came into knowledge of being self-aware, which would separate them according to their egos from nature. Therefore, if you're separated from nature, is nature going to nurture you? If you are lawless, okay, so you're like a kid in derision, okay, and your mother isn't putting up with that, and you act crazy and attack your mom, and so on and so forth, and motherfuckers act like they helping the planet as far as global warming. Well, they're really just trying to trap humans in here as a harvest so that you live and die in the flesh so they can have something to eat, because this is what they eat. They eat human beings. So there always has to be a problem that's facilitated in the earth, is it not, in order to generate such a harvest. But the problem is they're going to lose their entire harvest fucking with me and not let me get back to Hyperia, because if Dan, the mighty adder that stands in the way, which would correlate with draconians from the north, gets in my fucking way, listen man, this fucking sun in my chest is not for fangs. You know what I'm saying? And I look up at God and I fucking smile, man, because I know he's looking down on me. And here are individuals that turn on their back lights as neighbors that just want to suck my black dick as I walk around this track at an elementary school. It's 12 o'clock at night. Things that would indicate interruptions that would say that you're too loud, but how? And you're the only individual that heard my voice, and you got a Superman sign on your chest that you're gonna come outside and walk 0.08 of a mile to where I'm at, like I'm really shouting that loud, in which you're the only individual who felt like you were strong enough to turn on your light to deal with some black man walking around a track out back at elementary school after midnight. This is what I mean about these niggas. These niggas gotta be from outer space. I mean, these thoughts that come from outer space, are they not just thoughts yet? I remember in former times when I was in that Hyperia, that's where I got my kids, man. My kids, when I talk about my kids, I talk about the Greys. I'm like a fighter in my mind. I'm agile. I bounce around a lot. Look at these exercises. They're like warm-ups. Yeah, man, I got my kids from this world. It's the Greys. We have some dragons. And we had some snakes. We had some minions. Now the minions I didn't come in after, but like the forces at home, you know, the Hyperia of where I originated, and individuals were good. I asked them. I flipped out when I came down here. I didn't like how individuals were getting treated, and you know what I'm saying. And I fucking lost my shit. That's where the context of mother came into play. And they called me Nazi then because of the type of clothes I wear. But that was just my fucking style. Then I didn't know the shit was gonna turn into a movement. It's just like, this is just what I wear certain type of clothes. What type of clothes do they fucking wear? They wear plain ass clothes. What does it take? A nigga to wear fucking sweats and a t-shirt? I mean, is that real nigga shit, or am I getting vultured? What the fuck? Minions look like smiley emoticons. We are known as expressions. That's what we do, is expressions. That's what your minion is. So when it comes to swagger and style and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It's just me. I'm more in like, I just pay attention to different people. I study different people. And it's not really for the reasons that individuals indicate, but it's just for expression, swagger, and style. My knack of communication is different and it's spiritual. And the way that it works is not for me to be cordial, like to be cordial and a social and do it like a TV host or MC that stands at the front of a stage and tells you certain things. This thing and be charismatic and sociable. This is just a particular style to me. You understand what I'm saying? When I look at acting, there's just different styles of delivering messages. And I switch between different styles within inside my mind as if I was running on top of when you play Mario in the ground, you know, it's little sections where the ground is missing. That's what I do. I jump between different styles and regulate speeds in which I communicate, which pertain to your memory bank and how I can express myself effectively. So others express and utilize the style to be effective pertaining to, they'll say, I want to be charismatic. I don't do that. I mean, for each little thing, each word, I try to indicate a particular style that is expressive within a specified range, all right, to deliver a certain impact on your mind. Okay, that's how I move, and because I do things this way, I don't particularly have to be so. I'm not one that is on the smiley side of the scale. I don't know how to explain this to you, because I'm understanding perception, in which you can have the same psychological effects of me doing that thing in the way I communicate certain things to you, if that is the effect that we are going for. Okay, so here's the thing, man. I got my kids from here, and so that's where the mother concept is, and everything like that, and along with loving other individuals on the basis of things of this nature is also the nature of what should I say? I overbalance is not the word, but you have to keep things within measurements, because one could be obsessive. Okay, one could be obsessive over certain things. Love in a darkly way can be obsessive. Okay, and this is what I seem to experience in relationships from dating here. The relationships is weird. Sometimes you young ladies are clingy to the extent where it just feels like, yo, man, it feels like, hey, man, it's like some Ferguson shit. I'm trying to breathe, like on a spiritual sense and everything. It's like, dude, you can't be preoccupied with thinking that a nigga is cheating if you just like fucking all in my business. Fuck. I mean, Jesus Christ. I can't fuck with it. And this is what I mean about females having separation anxiety, so on and so forth within this game, where it is some type of fucking critical award basis where they feel like they have to latch on to an individual, you know what I'm saying, to the point where they can't have a healthy relationship because that relationship isn't open. It's based on fear. And I don't mean open as in dating other people. I'm just talking about a simple interaction between person to person, P2P. You understand? So when you have this and you have a hive mind, it's a collective mind, everything is put together, then it's gonna cause certain situations. Okay? And then you have to divide this mind according to egos as well. Okay? And the same thing would occur in terms of, if you combine the religions, then Christianity will end up bleaching all of them. Okay? As fire from a seraphim dragon. This will conclude that if iron sharpens iron and you choose to hang on to one spirit or one's beliefs other than the other beliefs, or you choose to hang on to both beliefs that goes opposing directions, whether it's Christianity and Hinduism, or Hinduism and the Muslim religion, to coexist within the spirit of Masonry or whatever, it's going to cause it's going to be antimatter in your mind, white noise. You're going to become dead. Okay? And you will be paid as long as your mind is dead like that. You want to know why? Because you could be perpetually utilized and controlled. And therefore, what do we say? My head's in the cloud. I feel cloudy today. Well, Rigger B. Tickens, how do you feel cloudy? We're talking about white noise, or the ring, or the dead. You are as a ghost, buried within your own flesh or carbonite. It wouldn't matter what spirit you were. When you come in the archetype of earth, in this field that I exist in, no matter your might or your deification as a god, you were buried in flesh no different than me. And of this earth, I know, being deified of it, that you are a visitor. You are a visitor. You are a guest in my house. So the ridicule and what have you that I get from these individuals, the proof is not in the response that I don't retaliate, that I'm a coward. These are places where fear should be garnered. I don't want to bother anybody. And I don't want anybody to particularly bother me, unless, it is a situation that is genuine. And I'm asking for a genuine situation in this world in which I am not getting the things that I put out. And this is why I'm in this predicament. And we allow this, and all the good ideas I have that people just take, and I see manifest in commercials and news and movies and all these refractions of myself, for me to be destitute here is a travesty. And you think you will not see God? Surely you will not. Surely I will never retaliate so that you have any memory of me whatsoever. All I need to do is walk backwards with my hands up as if I'm on a tightrope. And then we'll know masonry, because the secret I kept is the one that you wanted. Careful before I drown you and call it a baptism to tell you God isn't real. That's according to your conscience. I see a lot of white noise, and these niggas is white walkers. I'm not a subtle one of the field. I'll just roar. I ain't out for anybody. You niggas is like cute little dogs with bow ties in his hair. You know what I'm saying? Playing with a black wolf. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just can't play like the other animals. That doesn't mean that I'm wild necessarily, even though I got a wild style, bro. That don't mean I gotta show it. You niggas are exhibitionists. And then you want to be covered and not naked by showing your pride. Stop. You fucking with the wrong one. So, in consideration, I say these things, that this world doesn't seem to be conscious, because it's written that light shine into the darkness, and darkness considered it not. And considering all that space that you have inside your head, between your two ears. And I'm just speaking into the abyss, looking out into the darkness. I'm not even flinching. I don't have that type of knowledge. Is something wrong? Or do people have anxiety? And people take their anxiety and baggage off of the good guy. And it would appear that in some places I don't agree with the Bible, because I'm definitely a good guy, man. Christ couldn't say these things because he was connotative in the archetype of flesh. These things are real as your magic is, even though your magic works. You're in a snow globe of an oppression. And this echo chamber pertains to all the poisons and toxins of iron sharpening iron that creates dismembered trash inside of one body that heals itself. And that would be the sun. And if there are two suns, one is a black hole. The darkness represents the ideologies and the psychology of the flesh pertaining to the fields and a beast. And when a beast hunts, that creates subtlety, doesn't it? Because you don't want to wake the neighbors. And consciousness is the separation of thinking of why I don't do things that I might. One is spiritual and pertains oversight. Both ways are effective, but one way is cold and dead. And I'm judged for being mammalian. And it seems like mammals ain't the course. And if I can't be welcome here, do you think you really are? And it seems like this thing is heating up ever since I told y'all a long time ago what would happen if I didn't get my shit, and it still hasn't came. I would have to be getting out of here. And if I went through what I went through, I can't relevate it to God. And in order for us to play a game in which I suppose there would be a war of words, there would have to be opposing sides. And these opposing sides will connotate the environment that we're in. And if we can experience a portion of God backwards, and God pertains to our mind, but God is not backwards, but man is. The image that fell of God turned backwards. That's what it looks like. So when you get delivered in Christ, you're like Neo in the Matrix, where everybody's bumping shoulders, but you ain't got no friends. And the vultures take advantage of your cries, and you will be called John. This is what it looks like. And the world sits around and casts lots and waits for me to die, and I think it's interesting. And I'm just so touched that I could be hated so much. And now I got an affinity with villains, and you guys have impressed me, and I've been so influenced by the drugs of this massive poison, of this Kool-Aid that the world is drinking up at Heaven's Gate. And I'm thinking, I shall return like I did for my children before, but this time I won't collect shit. This is the shit that I'm talking about. If you have a population on Earth, you got to give 10% to God. And just because they're humans doesn't mean that you are giving those necessarily to God. They have to be of the original. They have to be of the original stock. Those he would consider to be called perfect to a certain extent. They would have to breed multiple times. Such as myself, a human being that these dogs would call dogs, but hate. Some of y'all may get that. You understand what I'm saying? But there would have to be a portion or a stock constantly, or you're stepping on your own harvest line as well. It's crazy. So if I am who I am, and all my kids go in that direction, that would be a huge part of 10% of the earth, right? But I would have to have a lot of things, right? I would have to have a lot of situations going on. And listen, man, I'm up in age, man. I fucking, you know what I'm saying? I'm 40. I'm not looking at, each kid is like doing an 18-year bid. Hey, man, listen. You know what I'm saying? The matriarchy down here in the Upside Kingdom was successful, I suppose, in the fact of giving me a life so fucked up where I couldn't progenate. But let's be honest, you could look at my mind. I can't lose, right? It just doesn't make any sense without there being particular attention. And how I came up and went through that shit with Merrill Lynch and the whole nine. You understand what I'm saying? How they studied me in a fucking glass room along with some other kids. How we put fucking building blocks together and all sorts of shit. I don't remember what the fucking test was. Dude, hey man, listen. I gotta get to my kids in Hyperia. But I got my kids from a former Earth, man. The great aliens, man. And these were not as the others that Christ was working with. Okay, Christ was working with them, you know. And I remember the last thing he said to me, man. Where he was just saying like, come on. He was amped to get in the game. I can't go into it. He was like, come on, you and me. Okay. And I had to understand how I had to come to an understanding. Now, look, you guys, the van left the fucking park where I was at after I walked to the fucking park. Now they left. So I guess I'll come back and do my pull-ups. But anyway, this fucking place, man. Tell you what, you can't take the hood out of me. Gotta do my pull-ups, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's how I was raised in this fucking world of unacceptance. But if Dracos are bipolar, then is that not proof that I am loved? Is this a situation or a nuance of envy? And I'm betwixt myself because does not God love dragons? Of course he does. He's guarded by seraphim. Okay. But here's the thing, man. You know, if I was created in God's image, would I not love dragons? But down here we have all this confusion between drag and everything else like that, and I know how all these things fit together. Pertains to psychology. It would take too long for me to go through down each psychology. Part of this drag perception is the fact that they believe that individuals perceive them in a certain light, and they go deeper into the horror function or shame, dealing with the biases of individual psychology, and what they project and present tends to be more extreme. All right, and these are hallmarks and connotations to deeper things of potential individuals that are actually androgyne, that is being forerun on the front line, pertaining to having men in drag versus understanding dragons are androgyne, right? Because they're using humans to facilitate a Trojan horse to come into society and be accepted. You're very enforcers. Okay? And pertaining and due to human knowledge. Okay? So, the fact of the matter is, this is not me saying that when I connotate dragons for individuals that are coming from the root chakra or coming from that certain place, I'm talking about dragons. These are spirits, okay? Not connotating with the knowledge of man pertaining to earth. Okay? Even though that there are some correlations, individuals are not thinking in a conscious manner managing their conscious to think in a conscious manner. So I put this disclaimer for. But this is the psychology in which things are more extremized pertaining to the drag situation. And you can see, again, they choose a black man as the forerunner. This is why RuPaul is up there. And black men are saying, why do I always have to be the donkey? Well, Jesus went to Calvary on a donkey. And the thing is, you can't facilitate a world of diversity where all other races know why yours is vulture, unless you are the fool that are exalted. But how are you exalted and for what cause may be deeper than what is seen at surface level. Nor may that individual who is asleep within a field of white noise understand in particular why they are promoting that lifestyle, unless they come into knowing themselves. All right. The fruit of the Lord would be the progeny of my loins, considering their knowledge and the wisdom and the ways they go according to. In which the speculation of my life and over it is at a larger regard than the gifts or the fruits of wisdom that has came from my mouth. And I find it highly offensive and a large indicator of the type of knowledge that is in this world. This truck just came down here. This nigga just fucking high beamed me. When I turned and looked at that nigga found church. This is what I'm talking about. This is in the suburbs. These niggas do this type of shit. So these niggas is just driving around, and the system is on a soft kill. That's what it is. I forgot about this shit. This is like that Get Out shit. So like if a nigga is sleeping, let's say I was asleep right now and I seen the high beams, you know how zombies react to high beams and shit like that, and I reacted a certain type of way, then you be like, oh, he's dead. The dude would have fucking pulled over and no telling what the fuck would have happened. But whatever they do when they're done with you, all right, when you watch Get Out, turn nigga into sex slaves and shit, and then fucking probably switch out my brain or eat me or put another spirit in there. You know, this is why having a mind, and this is the Squid Games of the Masons, that when they throw so many things at you and your mind get fucking separated, Monkey Paw Productions, then you could be replaced, and that's Face Off and Selfless, the films. You know what I'm saying? You know, I say, hey man, I say this shit with love. No, that's fucked up. Hold on. Hey man, that's what the fuck be happening in the earth, bro. And that's why I can't get these females. These females under lock and key of spells and words with the spirits that they have in them. So I can't have a girlfriend. This is what I mean. This is the sorcery of the world. And it links all the way to the deep state and the everlasting chain, so on and so forth. So I'm like, if I've gone this far and being fucked up, why the fuck am I just gonna sit enjoying, man? Like, I'm a nigga that I want freedom. And then people around here have these crazy colored lights outside, like blue and fucking green and shit like that. And I'm like, how does that work? Do I just go up to the door and fucking knock and be like, how much? How much? Yeah, I'm assuming there's some. I'm assuming there's some correlation to, maybe there's a fundraiser. You know what I'm saying? And it's like maybe there's a fundraiser in there, and there's like things that, you know what I'm saying, legal things I could purchase. You know what I'm saying? These signs and things like that, they're for me. They're for me. And think about it. The color coding of everything is just like we are set up like a video game, right? Going over there, it'd be no different than playing one of those video games where you walk past something and you stoop down and pick it up and it's like, dude, like you just ate it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like an apple, or if you ever played the game like Streets of Rage or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Or an RPG game, like you pick up some fucking tool or something like that. That's how this place is set up, man. You know, guns akimbo, you know. But this is, like I said, allegedly we're inside the technological cube, okay? And I don't presume the things that I went through are things that God necessarily would have wanted me to go through in my life. I can't imagine that the deity in which I knew as God, I can't imagine that this is something that what I've dealt with after the age of 40, after my bid. I can't imagine these things to this intensity and gravity is something that he will want me to go through, or predicaments that he will put me in, which has called me to question that their Hyperia has been, appears to be, or I presume has been infiltrated, or there was some debacle that may have potentially been within Hyperia before I left that I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ said, you and me. You see what I'm saying? So individuals have different desires and things like that. And this is not a situation of war for me, because obviously if there in any type of debacle there is, if it can be salvaged to some extent, that's what I would do. Okay? Pertaining my family. Okay? Pertaining to my family and my brothers. Hang on. And you see this thing pertaining to ethics and morals. If I was in Hyperia and I was just sitting there taking care of my sister at the second picnic table, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I suppose I've been partitioned as an individual for quite some time, you know, at the time that I felt isolated in Hyperia, pertaining to like all my family, a lot of my family, the kids that we say were younger than me, and you know, my elders were much older than me. You know what I'm saying? I just fucking, I don't know. I didn't really realize that. To be honest, I don't think the entity that is in Hyperia, I have a hard time believing that the individual I call God has that much parts of me. I'm gonna have to rethink that. I would not have supposed. You know what I'm saying? But I have a really good heart, man. I really do. I've always had a good heart. And I am expressive, and you know, I don't know. This is going past the line for me, so I would have to assume that something wrong happened wrong in Hyperia, and I fucking am only looking for a way to get my kids out of there, and I'll find a place to take them. But this has not operated like my former lifetimes here, and so where I would typically, I suppose, get irate or feel crazy or lose my mind or get upset. The fact of the matter is, until I get my kids, I don't really have that. I really don't have that luxury of breaking down mentally, which is fucked up for the black man. I gotta tell you, man, I went through a lot of shit in life. There was a lot of times I totally didn't feel like going to some place or dealing with something because I was dealing with so much fucking shit and I was so weighed down. But the black man doesn't get a pass, man. We don't get fucking mental illness days or this type of shit. All we get is get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? So we have to live in trauma and live past different types of trauma that, you know, individuals experience. But while holding down a regular schedule, so on and so forth. And we are regarded and judged as if we are perfect. You know, thus we have a multitude of derogatory terms. If we could just look a little bit deeper and see that the world has us on a pedestal. Okay? Because you could only call me something derogatory if you think that I'm so much superior to you. You know, in which, you know, I'm saying, like, that's what I mean. You know, if we're going to be precise. So when people say a bunch of negative and bad shit to me, I mean, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at where their heart's at, man. And I'm saying, your heart is hurt, man. Your heart is hurt. You know what I'm saying? There's deeper issues. Individuals want to be there for individuals, but not necessarily in every type of way. And most of the times we're there for individuals, believe it or not, as we need them, and in a certain type of way, and it's not the way that we want. A lot of times we get things taken out on us, okay? But it's not the spirit of the individual that the individual is in. Thus Christ probably said to Peter, get, you know what I'm saying, get behind him, you know, when Peter tried to stop him from being crucified. Because the spirit that Peter was in, he was probably so pissed off, man. It was like the devil came out. You know what I'm saying? The devil. Not pertaining to the actual devil, but if we were to break down cosmic energies and things like that, he was in a completely different nature than what Christ was trying to facilitate and promote. And that is the natural or the bestial state of a man that I'm saying, even if you're Christian or whatever, one has to be conscious to escape such things. This has been a great test of my character and my moral structure and what have you, the suppression that I'm under that is perpetual and pecks at my heart. You know what I'm saying? A crow pecking at my heart. But, you know, at the same time, there were times before where my heart went completely unnoticed. How can I hate any stimuli or be judgmental? And therefore, the abuse is better than being in isolation or experiencing that. Though I live on earth and see people, the mental anguish and torment of feeling like Spider-Man or Iron Man sitting on the ship's edge as they went out into space without any absolute destination, with too many perplexing problems in which they can consort any concern or worry to love themselves whatsoever. This would make an individual devoid of ego, but being devoid of ego is not something that will cause me to lose my mind, because in Hyperia, we don't have those. So, coming to this effect, then I would have to presume that Hyperia is safe and has not been infiltrated. We don't have egos in Hyperia. This is some new shit that's been added here. That's why I think that the tree of good and evil pertains to self. Okay, and it's a reflection of man. And as I've shown you, when you look at the last podcast with DJ Rum and what have you, and you see the crystalline background and the ocean waves, which connotates visions of heaven, okay, it would seem that these crystallized fractalates, which would correlate with the quantum field or the astral field, is connotations of which, whether one would denote as being life or death. Okay. But I don't know, man. Ego's new to me. Pertaining to any type of fornication, affections in this manner, is new to me, even in all lifetimes, because there was a time that existed that I personally did not experience or even think of these things, and I had a great time. Hyperia, it feels so great just being in Hyperia. The ideation of sex would cause, or physical affection in such manner would cause you to vomit, because it's such a long ways down, man. You know, you're on such a spiritual high. It's like, it's just beautiful, man. It really is. It's a beautiful place. Okay. But I've been heartbroken, and I've been fighting this spiritual war without a heart. I don't even know how to explain to you. Probably literally. I mean, what causes a man to do 22,000 reps in 59 minutes of I mean, it wasn't like heavy weight, but it wasn't like 5-pound weights, you know. I gotta be close to Hyperia, dude. I gotta be somehow close, man. I fucking, you just get stronger and smarter as you get close to Hyperia. This could be also a reason why my mind is like this. But my bid was supposed to be done when I was 40, you know. It was supposed to be done. My concern is, when I left Hyperia last time, I wanted to surprise my kid sister, Eiko, and do another bid and get back before the kids realized, you know, at the kingdom that God allowed us to have. You know, I figured, well, yeah, you know, by the time the kids, you know, enjoy, you know, before they even get to experience and finish enjoying this thing, which is totally, I could understand, it could sound like a good thing, but maybe it was just like a totally selfish thing, man, because like, I didn't put that kingdom together. I didn't build it. I don't know how to do that shit. That's something like God had to do. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to just presume like I'm gonna go do this thing again that was considered a game, and totally forget how I hate to be a apart from my little brothers and sisters, for in cricket, you know, I hate to be away from here too long, because if I, you know, we're totally separated from home here. At least it feels that way. I don't have any connection to home, and if I got back home and cricket has aged, I mean, I swear, like even like 3 years, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. And I know that I have to work on. I might be a bit excessive at times when it comes to the kids. I just fucking I don't hug them that much. I aim not to hug them or try to keep them in some type of container in any type of way. I really don't. I just, you know, I never had a family before I ran into Elder and Hyperia. I said I wanted to try having friends. That's what I said. So my former 13 years, I don't know what I did. I mean, I just worked. I probably worked the entire time. You know, and these rudimentary functions, I guess, are for training motor functions. You train for that in ILA by doing rudimentary work. This gets your functions, and then as you get towards the bottom of the ILA portion, then you start doing things that are more inclined pertaining to thoughts and consciousness, so on and so forth, and you start working at these places. And then I came across Elder, and then I was like, I'm going to try going down here. I'm going to try having a family, or see what it's like to have friends. And then I guess that ended up becoming my family. And you know, we got the Greys, and we got some dragons, and we got some snakes. You know, beings, entities from the Lucifer pyramid. Totally freaked out, man. I didn't like how people was being treated. I never seen some shit like that before. It really blew my mind. Yeah, I didn't know what. I'm not sure if I knew what it was. I just didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So, anyways, I suppose I just have anxiety there, and I think Hyperia or something. And I wanted to surprise Aiko, but I don't know. By now, even though it doesn't correlate with 1 minute, Hyperia is different. The beings there is different. They're so strong. She may notice that I stepped out and left, and I was really trying to surprise her before it happened. You know, before she recognized that I was missing from home. Anyways, I'm really tired, you know. I'm really fucking tired, you guys. I drink coffee. It has an effect on me, but not as much as it used to. Not nearly. I'm just fucking waiting to see if a door opens that I can get back to my kids. I didn't think it was gonna be this difficult or this long of a wait. Normally, this phase for me lasts traveling only lasts 6 months to a year. But this time, there was a lot more intricacies. The gifts that I got from this time are very intricate. Okay, very intricate, and anyways, you guys, keep the faith, man. Believe in God. He is an individual. Okay, I will tell you that he is. He has his own personality. He's wildly intelligent. He knows everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody from Hyperia is incredible. So I would say, figure out that Bible, you guys. You want to know why? If anything, have good intentions, and you can't go wrong. Have good intentions, and put God first. And if you keep, if you can't love others like you love yourself, practice with the 10 Commandments, man. If you could do that, you'll be pleased. Because I'm going to tell you for a fact, God is real. He is an entity. He doesn't. He cares whether you believe in Him for your sake. Okay, but God don't give a rat's ass whether he don't give a damn. I mean, we don't have egos there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, at all. And so, you know what I'm saying? Though I have empathy or whatever, it's just like being without an ego. It may come off as like I'm a sociopath or some shit like that. But it's just like I have more of an intellectual mind. You know, I have swagger and all those things, but it pertains and correlates to what's going on around me. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how I operate. I am a expression. You understand what I'm saying? And in order to be an expression, generally, I will have things that either I express to, or things that I express through others as a spirit. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm in an isolated, if I'm continuing to come here and I'm isolated each lifetime I come through, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is what it is. But I notice when I'm removed from environments and what have you, just like in the quantum field, it seems like the life of things, it seems like it just dies and things dissipate. And where I stand, things come and gather. And that's got to be, I suppose, God's Spirit or the Holy Spirit. Okay? But at this point, I don't even know if I care about the animals as much. I don't want anything bad to happen to animals or anything. But like, I'm kind of at peace with certain things. You know, sometimes when people pass, they have a relaxed smile. And I told my mother before this Daystar thing that if I had a choice between getting buried or cremated, getting cremated would be better, because it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like $2,000 cheaper. And now we don't have to worry about either one, really. You know what I'm saying? I rhyme. I say little COVID Shakespeare rhymes each time I talk with you guys from time to time. Like a Disney princess. And you know what I'm saying? I'm unbiased. You know? I'm unbiased. We all sing church songs, my niggas. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out. Hey man, listen. What did the nigga say to the avian? You know what they say about tree houses, right?